Wikid Publishing Podcast. My name is Michael. I'm one of the co-founders of the company, and this is Matt.
I'm Matt Bryan. I'm the other co-founder. We are a publishing company based out of California, rapidly expanding outwards, eastward, and worldwide.
We have creators all over the country and even other countries as well. And we're excited to welcome you all here today to talk to a little about LA Comic Con and some comics, and to talk to a little some of our creators.
Yeah. If you want to follow us real quick, though, you can go to Twitter or even Instagram and follow us at Wikid Publishing, WIKID PUBLISHING.
And you can also head over to our website at wikidpublishing.wixsite.com/comics. So we'll go ahead and get started today. Why don't we guys introduce yourselves, some the creators that have joined us today.
Hello, I'm Brett McGowan. I am the writer for Chicken Urban Fairy Tale, and as you guys can also tell, we're hosting this from my channel due to tech issues that were kind of unforeseen. But I'm happy to host my boss's stuff on my channel. But hopefully this will be resolved in the future. But yeah. I currently reside in Tacoma, Washington, so I am not physically at LA Comic Con like Maddie and Michael are, but I am here giving the eyes on the company, which is what we want.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, we really appreciate everyone who's here right now.
Totally.
And so, Brett, why don't you tell us a little about you?
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I reside. I'm in Tacoma, Washington. I've been into comics since I was like, I've been into comics since I was a kid. Like when my earliest memories reading comic books was like my uncle would send me and my brother like a box full of Spider-Man comics, like almost the other one.
So you've been into comics from a very young age, it sounds like.
Well, of course I have. I mean, like probably even. I mean, if you really want to get broad, like my history with comics probably goes as far back as my early childhood when I was watching episodes of Batman the Animated Series on home video. Yes.
Oh wow, OG style.
Yes, kids, I am old enough to remember back when our only format for video was VHSs, not your fancy DVDs and Blu-rays and your streaming services. In fact,
what about Laserdisc?
Oh, yeah,
oh Jesus!
I'm old enough to remember when I was going to Blockbuster.
Oh God!
And the massive increase in price.
By the way, guys, all social media links for Wikid Publishing will be in the description, so make sure you check those out at the end, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and we'll be joined shortly by a few more creators. We should be getting Cody from the Jack Irons today. Should be just stopping by. Ebi Canales, creator of Decimators.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Calamari, the upcoming creator of Dissolution 2030, a new series coming out from us.
Mm-hmm. And one that he's working on with another person. Not sure if it's published yet or if anybody's picked it up. Called The Extractors, which I believe they're either going to be doing the Indiegogo soon or they are already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely check that one out too.
And so we'll have you. Is there anyone else that we're missing?
Mike
Oh, and then actually we have one of the creators with us here at the convention down in LA with us, Mike DaCosta, the creator of the just released Elitewear comic. And in fact, we're actually debuting the comic here at the convention. Which we had a great day yesterday, and we'll tell you guys all about it. But that's great. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys joining. And then we also have Brett.
I'm Matt.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah. The other Matt.
I'm sorry. I think I'm mixing my names up. I apologize. It's a
all
little
right.
early for me.
Well, I saw that a convention once, which I can understand how bad it can be.
Oh yeah, it's a bit of overwhelming, you might say a little bit.
But I'm Matt Tran. I created Mythics and Mechanic Chronicles. Mechanic Chronicles is a sci-fi adventure series. Mythics is a urban fantasy series which will be taking place with a couple other titles. Brett, do you want us to talk more later on about it?
Michael, do we have permission to drop the bomb about a possible shared universe?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can. You can make that surprise announcement for us.
Go for it. All right, Matt, let's go.
All right. So, my comic Mythics, Brett's comic Changeling, and new creator Dan Satiro. What is it?
I thought it was pronounced Sakuro.
Sakuro? Dan Sakuro's Adobe Kroger will be taking place in a shared universe, and it'll be basically something similar to what DC or Marvel are doing, except with better writing.
In fairness, you guys run a better comic ship than Marvel does.
That is very true, especially lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, that is not saying much.
Good point.
It is
Yeah.
the faint praise because Marvel has set the bar so low.
Yeah. Hey man, when you beat all your competition, that's what you get to do, I guess, right?
Yeah.
If that's what you think.
We're shooting for 90s Vertigo rather than modern Vertigo.
Right. Exactly. Back in the heyday.
Yeah, we got someone in the chat, Lishi, named Lishi, saying hi. How you doing?
Oh, hello. How's it going? Thank you for joining us on the podcast today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
So, building off of that, if you don't mind,
sorry. I was saying, hopefully when we get this set up on the official Wikid channel, we'll be able to enable super chats so we can pour more money into this machine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Right? Definitely. You guys are the tech savvy ones, so we'll let you guys handle all that stuff. For now. For now, right? So maybe we'll learn one day.
That did not happen on my end because YouTube still has yet to enable monetization on my channel.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder why they have been waiting on that one.
I know they've become very choosy about who they do it with.
Kind of arbitrary to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like some channels just get monetized like immediately, and some just like never do.
I know that's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it really
honestly,
is.
I think it has something to do with Google because I honestly think that Google messed up the way that they used to run.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ever since
It used to be so much easier to use, if I felt like,
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with certain things that they had to change with their policies and all that kind of stuff, especially with like a lot of changes happened as soon as that.
I mean, implemented Google Hangouts and Google Plus. Oh, are you talking about the blonde-haired dude?
Yeah, the one who caused problems over in Japan and all that.
Yeah,
no.
Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems that, I'm not saying he's at fault, but I think the things that he did kind of escalated to what's going on right now.
It seems like blonde people are the root of all issues with YouTube.
Jesus.
Because he had PewDiePie set off the apocalypse.
For the record,
oh yeah, true.
Record, guys,
that is very true.
Maeve isn't a natural blonde; it's just glamour. Her natural color is just white.
Quick question. Sorry guys to cut in here. Is there a link I can post out real quick?
Yeah,
I posted out a link.
You did? Okay, great.
I'll put it in the Twitter chat just so you guys can find it.
Appreciate it. No, I wanted to get that there. But cool. So I actually wanted to build off of the announcement they just made, and actually make a special announcement of our own, a little bit of a surprise that we've been cooking up on our end.
Yeah.
And we're very happy and excited to announce that the new upcoming comic Adobe Kroger will be joining us as part of the Wikid publishing line of comics and manga.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah, so we're very excited. We were just talking with Dan this morning, and great conversation, and so everything's going smoothly, and we should be releasing that soon.
Yeah. Oh, did you announce any news with iBuy yet?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Or do you want to?
No, I believe right now would be a good time.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and make another surprise announcement while we're at it, I suppose. We also have some other exciting news coming out. The next month is the second print issue of the Decimators comic by Ibai Canales. And not only will it be the second print edition be coming out, but it's going to have a print exclusive cover that you won't be able to get anywhere else. So
Awesome.
if you love Ibai's work, go ahead and check that out and keep your eyes open.
Yeah. In case you guys don't know who he is, he's the guy who drew Diversity in Comics graphic novel Iron Sights. So that's all the reason why you guys should be paying attention.
Oh yeah. He's a very talented and very generous guy.
Wow, I'm surprised you're leaving Cody out of that for the reason why they should be paying attention.
Well, yes, we do it. Okay, true. That's another reason we have Jack Irons, which is a smash hit. Hey, Tank's in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Tank?
Hey, Tank.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Great to have you.
Yeah. We got Jack Irons, which everybody loves, and like I said, we have the guy who an artist from a Diversity in Comics book. I mean, those are the two great reasons to be following us.
Yeah.
Very
Not
true.
only that, we have the very prolific Matt Trent, who is also very active, and same thing with you, Brett. Both of you are very active on both Twitter and even here on YouTube.
Yeah, I think everyone's series has a lot of strengths going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, like we got some. I'm just saying, between Cody between Cody and Ibai, we've got some real star power.
That's true. No,
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
I do definitely agree with that.
And
I mean, I was the guy who suggested we push like Jack Irons as the company flagship title.
Yeah, in a sense, it can work because showing off the banner, everybody really loves to see him on how his picture is in the center and how it faces on how they're facing away from you and how all the other pictures tend to lead you toward that.
Yeah.
So that is a comment that we have gotten. So that is pretty good.
Yeah.
well, that sounds good. I would, Cody is still on his way, so we'll go and wait on his introduction. We can save his, his stuff and for when he gets here.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
But why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about LA Comic Con, Matthew, rather.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, everyone in the YouTube, we have a creator named Matt, and we also have the co-founder / creator named Matt. So we're gonna call co-founder Matthew. We're gonna call creator Matt just Matt. Just so that's clear for everyone listening.
You might want to explain that to slackers too.
Oh yes, yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring it up. Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
But
can adopt a pen name
for LA Comic Con, I mean, it's been great so far. I mean, a lot of foot traffic. Even today, there's like twice as many people as there are today than there was yesterday. And I mean, we had a great day debuting Eliteware and also Barrels as well. Pretty heated competition between the two as well, it would appear.
Yeah, definitely. There was a very exciting debut, and there was a lot of buzz for Eliteware. I would say, if anything, Eliteware might have taken the show, honestly.
Yeah. They probably really stole our show.
Speaking of Eliteware and stealing the show, why don't we let him steal the show now and give him a little introduction?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Mike. I'm the creator and writer of Eliteware.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Not too much. Just getting ready. The show floor opens in about 5 minutes for the general public. So I'll be popping in every now and then when I can, but I'm going to be out, doing the hustle.
All right, that's good. All right, that's cool. Hey, Mike, why don't you just tell people who are listening in at home what Eliteware is all about?
Yeah, so Eliteware, if you're a fan of properties like Star Wars, The Matrix, Tron, Blade Runner, Eliteware is definitely up your alley. It takes place about 600 years in the future with an elite class that kind of has re-enslaved the population. Our main characters are a family that they're well known for being arena fighters, gladiator style, but they kind of moonlight on the down low as assassins. but the family itself was divided about 6 months before the comic starts. So when we meet everybody in issue 1, they're trying to find a way to get back together, and from there things kind of go out of control and bad things happen, and by accident kind of a revolution starts. So that's the general overview of Eliteware. Oopsie, revolution.
So it's I guess you would say that not to put it into a box or anything, but I guess you would classify this as a cyberpunk.
Yep, cyberpunk's exactly the word that I see get used a lot. So cyberpunk for sure, and it's a very bright and vivid comic. We didn't want to go dark, rainy, dystopian future. We wanted to go shiny on the outside and messed up on the inside with the people.
There is a
Wow, it sounds like a lot of modern people today.
There's a novel that reminds me of that, although it has a very different tone compared to Eliteware. You ever heard of Snow Crash?
I have not. I'll have to check that out.
It's by Neil Stevenson. It's let me put it this way: Snow Crash basically predicted in the late '90s, I think, how internet culture would look. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Like it coined the term avatar.
Wow,
that's really cool.
But I will tell you this, just a word of warning. Book is good, but it's also super weird.
Well, weird is good.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it's weird like Brave New World, then that's really good.
Oh no, here's how weird it gets. The main character's name is called Hero Protagonist, and his job is, his business card says, the world's greatest sword fighter and last of the freelance hackers, and his day job is that he's a pizza deliverator for the mafia.
Yeah, I actually think I've heard that name, the Hero Protagonist. I've heard people mention that, but I didn't know the details. That's my type of weird. I like it. I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, like I said, it gets, like I said, it's a great book. It just gets super weird in places. Actually gets super weird all over the place.
Nice. That's definitely going to be on my list to check out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I think I'm going to hop off because the show's about to open, and I want to make sure we're here for the traffic.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Thanks.
I'll catch you guys later. I'll be back on a little later, give you guys an update for the show.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Yeah. So there's a book for you guys to be checking out. Eliteware by Mike DaCosta, and which definitely comes recommended to fans of cyberpunk. And it's not like all grim and gritty like so many
like a Blade Runner.
Yeah, I mean, I like Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies.
Sure,
but,
I mean, I like a blockbuster movie. I'll go, I'll eat popcorn when I'm there. Sure, but I like films.
I don't know. I would say, I don't know. I mean, like I guess if I had to put it down, like it's probably a bit more, maybe more like Johnny Mnemonic, although probably better written.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Johnny Mnemonic though, for the record. It was
really.
That was a good movie for what it was.
I'm not sure I've seen it.
It's a Keanu Reeves movie where he's an info courier where he's lost his memory and he has data that's literally pumped into his brain.
Oh my god!
Isn't that kind of like
dude? He's so young in this movie.
Too?
He's gotta be one of his first movies, right?
That sounds like a Total Recall in a way.
Well, let's just say this was the cyberpunk movie he did before The Matrix.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I gotta watch that.
It's kind of what made them think that he would be a good
really.
fit for it.
Oh my god! I had never heard of this. I'm very surprised. I've heard the name Johnny Mnemonic. I just didn't know what it was. So it's a good movie though, huh?
Yeah. I mean, like it's kind of a poor man's Blade Runner in a way, but it's good. It's a good movie.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Yeah.
I see why you say poor man Blade Runner. I really see that.
I will say this though. It does have some good supporting acting from Henry Rollins and Ice-T.
Ice-T. Oh yeah, Ice-T's a great actor.
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's also got Dolph Lundgren in it as a.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. What a cast.
Yeah, it's got Shang Tsung too from Mortal Kombat, I believe, from the first Mortal Kombat.
Also, Henry Rollins is very restrained in that movie. Like he's not shouting or constantly swearing.
Oh, he was working for another person, not himself that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cody just messaged us, says the power's down at his place.
Oh,
boy.
no.
Oh no, that's not good. We need Jack Irons to get in here.
I know, right?
He said he's gonna try and find some. He's gonna go and look for some decent public Wi-Fi.
Oh boy.
I'll tell him to try the lib. Oh wait, what library's gonna be?
Try Cody's bar.
I was gonna suggest the library, but I don't know what library's open at this time over in New Mexico.
Jeez, yeah.
If it's an hour ahead of us, they should probably be open.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
it is
10:30
9:30.
10:30 there.
Yeah, 10:30 there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he'll be able to join us soon, and we can get him on here because I'm sure Cody will have a lot to say.
Yeah, we need our star to talk. We need our star.
yeah,
Yeah,
one
he
of
has to show up
them.
fashionably late, of course.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. If this is how he's gonna be late all the time, we might want to deflate that ego a bit. Just saying.
True. That's fair.
Hey, isn't that what we're doing? We're deflating his ego?
You know what? Yeah.
We gotta do more, man. We gotta make it more active.
yeah, we do.
It's like, no, I'm too good for you guys.
Hey, man, we gotta take you down a notch.
I mean, the worst that could happen, he goes.
I guess while we wait for Cody to come in, hey Matt, why don't you go in? Why don't you take the floor and tell us a little bit about about McKinnon Chronicles and Mythics?
Yeah.
Okay, so McKinnon Chronicles is about.
I'm aware of that. I'm still going.
Okay,
Now
so
everyone.
McKinnon Chronicles is about. It's set 4,000 years in the future. And,
To the Los Angeles Pentagon 2018.
well, that's distracting.
Sorry for that. No kidding. Just
But,
go on.
yeah.
Go on. Do it.
But yeah, it's all about the career of a Solarian Alliance officer named Maisie McKinnon. It's the format of the books is more of a Horatio Hornblower type, where you have a set story for each book. So it's you really don't need to have any prior knowledge of the previous books when they come out.
But this, just out of curiosity, is this like a case where you don't need, where they could be read in any order?
Yep.
So it's more like a loose Star Trek in a sense.
Yep, pretty much. Kind of like how Star Trek used to be when there wasn't. It was more of a episode of the week kind of thing.
So you
Except-
mean the original Star Trek?
Yeah. Or
You know what?
next version.
I bet you that Horatio Hornblower was an influence on Star Trek.
Oh, it was. Kirk was the characters of Kirk and Picard were inspired by the series, and the
I could
rest
definitely-
not.
I can definitely see it in Picard.
But yeah, it's going to be. Each story is going to be about 96. Probably 96 to 110 pages long. So I'm definitely going more for graphic novel length for each story, but I'll probably do some single issue short stories to go in between them, so I can flesh out more of Maisie's backstory.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, I mean, like, so yeah, each graphic novel is a self-contained story. There's not going to be too much. There's not going to be too much continuity that's going to be required for you to get everything. And like I said, this could this could be read in basically any order, right?
Yep.
Which
I like. They're also going to be very character driven because I've got this way of making stories, and before I design anything in the story, I design a character first.
I get.
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
which is kind of strange in terms of Maisie's case because I had developed a story beforehand where she was a supporting character who was then promoted to
main character because I thought her name was too interesting to pass up as a main character.
Hey, that's kind of a thing. That's kind of a thing. I mean, I can relate. I mean, like, I mean, I'll get into my experience with that later when I start talking about Changeling. But Matt knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, like sometimes you create a character, you don't have really much of a plan for them, and then you just find out this character actually, you know what, has a life of its own. I gotta let it live it.
Yeah, and I don't like I don't like hearing advice like, "Oh, you shouldn't let your character do whatever they want. It's poor discipline." Well, the person who usually says that takes about 7 years for a book to come out. So,
Oh yeah, fuck! What was that guy's name? Paul Ruffman.
I'm going to not say any names in particular because it seems rather unprofessional for us to do it.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. We'll just say it this way: the guy who said this, he takes longer to get a book out than George R. R. Martin does with another book in Song of Ice and Fire.
Damn.
Let's just say he doesn't. He's got no room to talk about lack of discipline.
Well,
I'm sorry, Matt.
is that an Asian crick?
No, well, it's half that and half a South Park reference.
Oh well.
Yeah, that too. City Walk, right?
No, it was that episode where it was that episode where Randy tried quitting drinking.
Yeah,
and it opened up at, I think, like, what was it? Stan was at a karate class, and
karate class.
Yeah.
Yeah, the instructor just said to Randy, "You'll rock discipline."
Yeah, he tells them all to read The Art of War.
And of course, because Randy's Randy, and he goes too extreme and thinks like his alcoholism is an actual disease.
Yeah, he really and everybody acts like it's a major thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm thinking with Mechanic Chronicles that the first major storyline will be, I've got her in her first command. It's a small Corvette ship. Not very many people to command, but it'll be just like this story. This first book coming out, it's going to be a struggle to get people on board, but it's going to be an uphill battle, I think.
So I mean, you said it's a Corvette. So like not like the Corvette most people are going to be thinking of, but let me put it this way: if you had a real world analog for a ship, what's the closest thing it would be to?
Patrol boat.
Okay, so something that's just that's a good. Okay, I can see that. Like kind of small, doesn't have a lot of firepower, just really meant to keep watch. And I think I have seen the first page of that, and it looks like that thing gets in way over its head.
Yep. And what I'm doing for this is I'm going to try to adhere to real life space physics as much as possible.
You know, that's going to be interesting. I mean, because like everyone knows, like there's no sound in space. So how do you make? I mean, like you can obviously make the battle still look exciting with just visuals alone, but there's not going to be. So, but does that mean you're not going to employ sound effects at all?
I'm going to play it as no sound effects for the first issue to see how it goes.
I'm good with talking to
Really?
to grab their attention.
That's a bold choice.
Thanks. Or it'll be in. I just got the first 6 pages done for the preview.
Nice.
The line art's all in the Dropbox now, so what's going to happen?
That's awesome.
So
yeah.
The preview pages will also be the test run for the no sound effects in space.
Oh, okay.
Now, Matt can probably correct me on this, but to my knowledge, the only other 2 properties I've seen that depicted space that's at least space flight in a realistic manner were 2001: A Space Odyssey and Firefly.
even more so with the Expanse.
Yep.
Really?
I know it. That's what he was going to say.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a new show. I've caught a little bit. It's a pretty good show, actually.
Yeah, I keep meaning to.
Yeah, it's
Expanse is like on my list. I keep meaning to watch it, just haven't gotten around to it though.
well. To be fair, the first season does drag on slowly because it's based,
Well,
it's based
isn't it?
on a novel series.
It is, well, it isn't. It is also kind of part noir though, and noir is meant to be kind of slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, Friday's not great for bringing the kids to the show.
I mean, how else do you build up the mystery?
And
We're gonna give the free samples to
there's
too.
there's not going to be any lasers.
No, like so like all ballistic weapons, huh?
Well, not so much ballistic. It'll be particle based because with lasers, it's the damage is heat based.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow,
yep, and space heat the heat will cool down so that when it hits the ship, if it's armored, all it'll do is just maybe make a little bit of a scorch mark and not much at all.
Okay, so I mean, you talked about this on a prior stream, but like how much, like how deep does McKinnon Chronicles have its foot in, like, say, hard science fiction?
I'm gonna say probably about 50-50. 50% hard science fiction and 50% will be the other 50% is more art based because I'm not going to know every little detail about how space physics works. So I'm not an astrophysicist, so I'm gonna get stuff wrong as I go on. We go on.
Like even that new Cyberpunk game that's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty cool. I mean, like, does anyone know, like, can anyone even in the chat name a comic book that goes that far in hard sci-fi at all? I mean, like, most of them just, like, they just kind of use, like, sci-fi as more of window dressing than anything. Like, oh, space battles, cool. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, there was Image put out the adaptation and spin-off series for the Honor Harrington series, and that had some real-life space physics, such as all of long-range space battles.
Oh, cool.
And they had some science lessons at the back of the books, so you get an understanding of how things work in that universe.
But yeah, I mean, like, still though, I mean, it's someone in the chat named Razor's Rose says, "Ugh, Harrington series." Shaking my head.
Well,
was it not very good?
Well, the earlier books are pretty good, but later on, you can just tell the author was getting bored with it.
That's unfortunate.
So it's good at the beginning, then just goes downhill.
Yeah, but it's also got some pretty interesting politics involved, such as the antagonist nation at the beginning of the series is basically this shithouse space station that is dependent on taxing their citizens to death.
Oh my lord! I don't know. This is actually sounding like a book I would like.
For these welfare stuff, this welfare state.
Okay. I'm not hearing anything I don't object to so far, aside from it going downhill because the author got bored.
Well, the main character stops being so much of a starship commander or fleet commander, and becomes more of a military politician.
It's interesting that you say that, because to me that kind of sounds like how Ender's Game went from being an action series to like a very political and religious kind of commentary.
Well, that's
well, yeah.
Yeah. So much so that when they got around to the movie version, the filmmakers said, "Yeah, you know that guy who made the book? Yeah, we're not associated with him." Yeah.
14 pages. We got right here.
Jeez, yeah.
Well, the thing about Orson Scott Card is that he's crazy.
Well, to be fair, he's a Mormon.
Yeah, all fair
But-
points.
I'm going to let you guys know that I do plan on pulling the plug on McKinnon Chronicles when I stop having stories to tell.
How you doing?
What do you mean exactly when you say pulling the plug exactly?
Well, if I reach a point where I don't have any more stories to tell for McKinnon Chronicles, I'll just end it there rather than go on for too long.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Too many series, they just think that they have to keep going, and even past when they run out of ideas or they start to become repetitive or whatnot. So yeah, no, that's pretty smart. Keep it just the story, and when you run out of story, then there's no more to tell, and that's the story.
Yeah. Always good to quit while you're on top.
Right.
like Game of Thrones is right now.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. It's a.
They're trying, at least.
I would say it has not been on top since around season 5.
Yeah,
Well,
but it could have gone on for much longer.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true. It's hard to fall. I mean, it's hard to. I think the big problem with that show is it's hard to close all the storylines after they've started so many.
Well,
Yeah.
the books have a lot more plot to it. It's a lot more. The books are very densely packed with plot, so they could go on for another 14 years.
Assuming George R. R. Martin doesn't kick the bucket before
Yeah,
then.
dude, he needs to get right on the next novel before that happens.
That's the final death. Everyone will be upset about.
Oh God,
Is.
no, don't say that. Oh God.
And then we'll have a repeat of what was the name of that that novel series? Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah, for real.
No, actually, you know what? The reason why I say that is because he says nobody's going to finish it for him.
Really?
Yeah, so it's done.
funny.
It's
That's
on
Brandon
Jon
Sanderson
Snow.
is getting on Game of Thrones.
Yep. It'll end on Jon Snow getting stabbed.
Again. And again and again.
Lacey Hart says bad juju. Don't say that he needs to live to finish that shit.
Is this a sample of our new comic Leeware?
Hey,
Nope, cool.
I think he'll figure out a way.
They'll
I
get a
got
typewriter for him and-
what the hell happened with Wheel of Time? I mean, it's because from what I understand, the original author died and nobody liked the new guy.
Really?
Well, I don't think it's so much they didn't like the new guy, as that they didn't think his style fit very well. Because Brandon Sanderson is actually a pretty good fantasy writer and prolific. He's done about 20 books in the last 10 years.
Jeez. Wow.
And they're all very big.
Yeah, jeez. All epic fantasy, I bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, Matt, did you tell me he had the original author and his widow's blessing to finish it?
Yeah. In fact, it was the widow who chose him for it. But basically, Robert Jordan died right before he finished outlining the final book.
Morning, how you guys doing?
So
Space Sampler?
he was getting it done.
So I guess it's just like he had the unenviable task of he just had the shoes were too big for him.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, there's probably no one who could really fill those shoes adequately. I mean, and live up to everyone's expectations 100%. I mean, that's pretty tough right there.
Oh yeah.
Is it a sampler? Or a new
And I'm sure he did the best he could.
Yeah, even
There's 6 pages. Take a look. If you like it, you can read the rest of it right there.
I mean, take a look at what Christopher Tolkien did with the Silmarillion. I mean, what the final product we have of that book is just a bunch of manuscripts he edited from J.R.R. Tolkien. I mean, people still like it, but
It cannot live up to the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit. It's just not.
I don't think Tolkien ever intended to publish it.
hey, Aaron Kelly Mary's in the chat, dude. Why aren't you in the Hangout?
So you say Aaron's in the chat?
Aaron's he's in the YouTube chat, dude. Why are you not in the Hangout? Okay.
Get in here, brother.
Yeah, what? Okay.
So maybe I should finish up with Mythics.
Aaron, post me a link so I can get. I'm gonna make you. Hold up, just give me a sec, Aaron. I'm gonna make you a moderator so you can post a link so I can send you the Hangout link so you can get in here.
Here, I can send the link I have actually.
Oh, that'll work too.
Isn't the link in the group chat?
It
Yeah.
is, but for some reason, Aaron's Twitter doesn't show up.
Yeah, he had to. Well, we won't get into that. He had some issues with his account. He's taking a break for the time being.
How you doing?
Okay.
Good. Interested in a sample or new comic book Eliteware? Oh, I'm sorry. Interested in a free sample of a new comic book Eliteware?
Unfortunately, it's not letting me
First 6
copy
pages,
the
you can read
Twitter.
for free.
I have my wrench on good. Okay, fine.
Available. Star Wars,
I'll go
Tron,
ahead
Blade Runner
and
Legacy,
just-
all
I
that.
could probably make you a mud while I'm at it, Matt.
Awesome, bro. Thank you very
Makes
much.
sense.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
All right.
Okay, so talk about Mythics now, Matt.
All right. So basically, Mythics was my idea for a modern day fantasy where it takes place where it has it's
How you
set
doing?
in a very
Preview of our
realistic, realistic,
And that sampler, issue 1's here.
a rather realistic universe where mythical creatures exist in our world, but they also don't. And basically, with the title organization Mythics, they're there to keep the balance between the mortal world and the otherworld, which has many different realms for other creatures of mythology, such as we've got one for the dead, we've got one for spirits, the fae, the gods, and what?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Mike. Michael, why don't you talk?
No, it's okay. Well, I was just actually hearing you talk about that. I can see how maybe those kind of elements might play into the shared universe that you're working on with.
Yeah.
Creator.
Yeah,
That's that's pretty much it. But yeah, what I was gonna say is like do like a monsters play into this, like say vampires, ghosts, werewolves, that sort of thing.
Yep, and they have the same weaknesses as portrayed in mythology, such as if ghosts, you can keep them away with iron, and with spriggans, you can turn your clothes inside out, because apparently spriggans can't see you if you got your clothes inside out.
So like what are vampires kept away by garlic?
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it's just because I've been exposed to Vampire the Masquerade, but that just seems kind of dumb. I mean, like I'm okay with them. I think sunlight does enough.
Yeah, that's true. I think I haven't really done much in terms of throwing in vampires because I haven't thought that far ahead with that, and vampires are. I think people might be getting bored of vampires.
Yeah, true. I mean, like vampires are been so done to death that they're kind of a cliche at this point. But just going like in Vampire the Masquerade, like the only weaknesses vampires have is like sunlight, being set on fire, being decapitated. In fact, even a stake to the heart doesn't kill them; it just paralyzes them.
Yeah, and so basically the whole story for Mythics is set around Althea Fletcher and her familiar skeleton, who takes the form of a German Shepherd.
Cute doggo.
Yep. Well, it's also based on the British hunting folk, where they're called white witches, which sounds very bad when you consider that with witches they call with the average witch they call them black witches.
Interesting.
And one of the things that the cunning folk would do would hunt witches.
Now tell me this. These witches. These are like these witches are old school. None of that New Age Wicca crap, right?
Oh God, no. In fact, the cunning folk, from what I've read about them, they managed to survive the witch hunts, the Christian, because the communities would find them useful.
Oh, so like possibly, I don't know. Is it? Are we? Oh, yeah, Aaron. They are at the booth right now. Matthew and Michael are at the booth as we speak. But yeah, I got one thing that's kind of occurring to me. Like, possibly is time travel possible? And if it is, Spanish Inquisition story?
Not at the moment. I'm not sure. But interesting note is that the comic folk, many of them also included Christian material in their spells, such as they revered the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, cool.
And they'd attend church.
Very cool.
So for them, magic wasn't a religion like witches or Wicca. It was a tool for business.
Yeah. You probably could sneak in a couple jabs at Wiccans. a bunch of Althea, just something like Althea comparison to just LARPers.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't wear goth clothes, so that might cause some issues with the Wiccans.
Like, so yeah, okay, so I mean, like you said, like it's gonna deal with ghosts, not so much vampires, and not even like so much werewolves. So you're gonna like draw upon like say more obscure monsters.
Pretty much, such as the prologue story will deal with revenants, type of ghost that.
I know what. Oh yeah, revenants. Like it's I mean, if anyone's seen The Crow, you've basically seen the archetypal revenant.
Yep, and basically dispelling that kind of ghost from a house. Basically, a cabin in the woods to go with the cliche.
That can be a little tricky because the only way to really get rid of a revenant is to fulfill its mission, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it is gonna be tricky, but you know.
Yeah. Like, are you gonna draw upon like say one type of mythology or like all different kinds?
All different kinds. Pretty much the story really, the building of this universe really, or this world really got started when after I read American Gods by Neil Gaiman, where he sets it up as you have all the old gods interacting with humans, and you know they basically look normal. They're
First 6 pages free. If you like stuff like Star Wars, Tron, Blade Runner, Matrix, all that stuff.
Oops.
Yep.
Keep talking.
That's right. But yeah, it's basically similar to that with American Gods, where you do have the creatures and the gods interacting with modern culture, but
is it going to be like the TV series where Odin looks like Ian McShane?
Well, it's interesting because I wanted to ask you about that because I'm a huge fan of American Gods, and Neil Gaiman's like my favorite author. And
me too.
Are you nice? Dude, that's awesome. Fellow fan. And so I wanted to ask, because you were talking about how it's like similar structured, you know, with the gods and all. Are you also using a similar idea with the whole? Because in the book, there are different versions of the same god depending on where the worshippers live. So there could be the original god back in Iceland for Odin or whatever, but there's also could be another version of the god, or it's like they kind of go into these different things like that.
I kind of don't want to get sued by Neil Gaiman, so probably not going to end up like that.
Yeah, oh, come on, it can't be like he has a trademark on that particular method or anything.
Yeah.
Although I mean, like, although it could be similar enough that you could get accused of plagiarism.
True. Yeah, you never know, but that concept alone, I think it works. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
the idea.
Not gonna lie, it is interesting.
I'm just gonna say that the gods will probably be more of. They're going to be only in their. The originals are in their realm, so everything, all the other, any time that you meet a god in this universe, they'll be in an avatar of themselves, but with modern trappings.
Oh, that sounds
No,
fun.
the way I'm picturing it is like the way the gods realm is like you got different the different like pantheons like have their own like the for lack of a better term gated community.
Yep.
So like Valhalla's its
to be honest,
like Asgard's its own thing, Elysium's its own thing. No, not Elysium. Olympus is its own thing.
Yep.
Tir na Nog is its own thing.
Yep. Basically, that's gonna be it. And to be honest, I do want Ian McShane to be in the live-action adaptation, except instead of Odin, I'd have him as one of the mischievous gods, because that seems to be where he has the most fun.
So what? Ian McShane is Loki?
Yeah. I mean, I could see it.
And now I'm picturing I'm now picturing that Al Swearingen was an avatar of Loki.
Oh boy.
Make that an Easter egg, Matt.
No problem.
Yes. Have Beth make Loki look like Ian McShane and say like, and have him say like, oh yeah, there was this one time where I ran a saloon in a town over in North Dakota before it was a state.
Maybe even have him break the fourth wall a little.
Although, wait, I do remember you telling me Mythics is for or a more mature audience. Is this the kind of book where he could get away with prolific use of the word cocksucker?
Yeah, I can see that happening.
I mean, if Cody is not going to make Robot Ian McShane use it and just, I mean, like I said, if it's not Al unless he's speaking in highfalutin language and using and saying the word cocksucker every other sentence.
Oh yeah, it's.
Go watch Deadwood, so you can understand that, people.
I definitely do. If I ever do a spin-off for the Ian McShane Loki, I'll probably watch a bunch of Deadwood for it.
Yeah.
But on to the main character of Althea.
Yeah.
She's in her 30s, so she's definitely older than the average protagonist, which is something that you probably realize talking to me about characters, is that I like to have main characters who are different from the usual, such as I'm taking a bit of a knock at the big two about marriage and having Maisie be married and have a couple of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Althea is in her 30s, kind of. She looks like your average woman because I don't want her. For the most part, I don't want her to be one of those characters stand out. Where it's when you're trying to have this group that's supposed to be secretive and such, you're probably not going to have the care. If you're working on a job and open in plain sight, you're probably going to want to look like someone off the street rather than someone that you could remember instantly. You know, big boobs.
So that's kind of what endeared me to Althea, is that she looks like I mean, she's not unattractive, but she looks normal. I mean, like, she looks like someone you could run into on the street. She's not like a supermodel or anything. Which is not me saying that those characters don't have a place. I mean, for God's sake, I don't think, like, say Regina from Rags would work as well if she looked ordinary. Like, she kind of has to look the way she does for that book to work, but I'm just saying, like, there's a place for more average looking characters too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, that just shows you the range of types of characters you can really do.
And average doesn't mean ugly.
What'd you say?
What?
What'd you just say?
Average doesn't mean ugly.
Oh, that's true. No, that's true. I mean, that average means average. You know, that's yeah. So I mean, that's very true. And so I think that's kind of an interesting way to go with it. You know, is it similar to? I mean, how will that play into the personality and whatnot?
Well, she's more of a professional. So when I've got set that if she's talking to someone, a client about a job, she'll be more formal. So in her off time, she's gonna be more more dryly sarcastic. Just to deal with some of the things that happened to her in her past.
Wow.
That's it. And she'll be rather distant towards new people, so it's going to be really interesting to see how she handles meeting Maeve and Adobe.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah. Everyone on this panel looks average, if you know what I mean. Thank you. Funny, Aaron. Very funny, Aaron. Yeah. I was gonna. What I was. Yeah.
Sorry. Quick, I just give you a quick update. Right before you start, hold that thought. I just want to let you guys know. Cody said he's able to get on the internet finally, and he should be on shortly.
Okay, good. That's great. Finally.
And then the power goes out again.
Right.
Okay. Now, I mean, like I keep comparing Mythics to Hellblazer, but that's not. I mean, some people are probably gonna see that because, like, there's probably not. It's probably like the only other book that you could probably draw a comparison towards. But if anyone's wondering, like, if anyone is wondering, no, Hellblazer's not really much of an influence on Mythics because Matt hasn't read it.
No, in fact, I draw more inspiration from The Witcher in terms of how Althea's job is, rather than Hellblazer.
Yeah, because like with it makes more sense because Geralt at least Geralt's got an incentive because he gets paid for what he does, whereas with John Constantine, he
First
just sort of
pages of issue 1, which is there. So if you like what you see, you can actually find out what happened in the next 16 pages.
Sorry, guys.
John Constantine his thing is he sort of gets mixed up in all these things, and he's kind of like the right guy at the wrong place.
Basically, and basically, he doesn't even get paid for this, so.
Not really. I mean, like, fuck. Actually, if anything, he ends up paying for it pretty much every time, or one of his friends does.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to. I'm not going to have Althea go through that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you did not need to have Althea have her own version of the Newcastle incident.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys don't know what that is, like I said, just read Hellblazer.
It also now another good comparison potentially. Now it's not comics, but the novel series Dresden Files. Is it somewhat similar to that at all?
Actually, I think that's more Adobe Kroger, to be honest.
Oh really? Oh, interesting. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Because Adobe. Hey, the star has arrived.
Oh my God! Now the podcast can begin.
Oh, an hour late, huh? What you guys been doing while I was working to get here, huh?
Oh, we've been chatting up. We've been telling the good folks out there about all our projects and whatnot.
Well, hey, like I said, Cody is the star, so the star should arrive fashionably late.
Yeah, we all know that stars are slackers anyway.
So,
Right on.
well, I don't want to interrupt what you were saying. If you want to go ahead and finish that first, that's totally cool. But after you're done, why don't we have Cody tell us? I mean, of course we all know, but tell us a little about Jack Irons and what's going on with that project.
Okay, cool.
well,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So basically, the first story arc is going to be all about setting up more of this universe, getting to know the characters and some of the different realms. and hopefully it'll be interesting to enough people that I'll do a second story arc, and a third one, and a fourth one, and crossovers.
Matt and I have a crossover that's basically Matt and I have a crossover for Changeling and Mythics that's basically the Wicker Man meets Shadow over Innsmouth.
And I get the feeling that there's going to be also crossovers with Adobe Kroger as well.
And by the way, it's the original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee, not Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, so the first thing I imagined, I was going to say a lot of bees in a wicker basket, right? But okay,
no, it's that it's the Cody. It is the original Wicker Man, the good Wicker Man.
Well.
I don't know. Maybe we should have Easter egg to the new one, this one, where we see Nicolas Cage getting his legs broken.
Put Ghost Rider in a wheelchair. That'd be good.
Oh man, there's a Ghost Rider book to read.
Right?
The new origin story. Nicolas Cage got his legs broken and sacrificed.
And hey, Marvel's all about that diversity, so they can have a disabled hero for once.
Right?
Wait, isn't that Xavier?
He doesn't count. He's a white man.
No, wait, he got his legs back. Yeah,
and then they got broken again, and then they probably have him back now again, I think. But they've been I think it's been like 4 times he's been both non and paralyzed, and it's just awful.
It just sucks to be
him with this guy's hopes. It's working again. Next story arc, yeah. No, it's crushed now.
Xavier secretly think I hate you all.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Aaron brings up a good point. Daredevil's disabled.
Yeah,
he's blind. Blind. Yeah, I forgot about it.
I think he's hyper-abled. Okay, he has super hearing, super scent, super touch, which enables him to have super balance.
Cody, I love you, man, but I have to disagree with you because Frank Miller established that Matt Murdock's abilities are not because of the toxic waste that blinded him. They are learned abilities that any human could theoretically have with training, and that's because, and the reason why they work so well is because his other senses are compensating for his lack of sight, and he had them and he had to relearn them. But when he trained with stick at the beginning of Frank Miller's run,
I'm totally fine. I totally agree. That's no longer canon.
Well,
he's a superhero.
Well, I'm gonna say, to add in the disability, he's a lawyer too.
Yeah, oh man, do you know that Matt's Catholicism is actually a Frank Miller edition because he said only a Catholic could be both an attorney and a vigilante.
Yeah, no, that works great. I love Daredevil. He's about my 3rd favorite superhero. They've gone back and forth with it, and
Mark Waid ruined him. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, so that's all I'd say. It's at the moment he is hyper powered, so that's what I'm going with. The Frank Miller is the the classic, but you're not going to get that back ever.
Yeah,
it's dead. It's gone.
Yeah, Frank Miller's Daredevil's the gold standard. I would definitely say Brian Michael Bendis' run is a close second, though.
I like the one art Kevin Smith did too, quite a bit.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Guardian Devil. Yeah,
that was great.
Adore Guardian Devil.
Yeah. Those are the 3. Yeah, Frank Miller, Brian Michael Bendis. Like Out was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, if Daredevil doesn't count because of his hyper senses, what about Oracle?
Oracle counts.
Well,
Oracle
then they gave her legs back and made her Batgirl again.
But when will?
Right, God damn it!
How long before they do a Charles Xavier on her?
Right. Joker shows back up, shoots through the spine again. The Killing Joke 2, even funnier.
Yeah, let's not show how you can overcome. Let's not show how you can overcome a disability and reinvent yourself. Let's just give her legs back and make her Batgirl again. Even though we gave it to I'm sorry, Cassandra Cain was best a Batgirl.
Not a
Actually,
huge
he wasn't even
Batman
disabled.
reader,
He
except for
couldn't
old.
speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rare out there to find the handicapped superhero. Usually does get fixed one way or another.
Oh wait, I just remembered. I think Marvel has like a C-list character called Echo who's deaf.
Okay.
Hawkeye's supposed to be deaf, but that depends on who's running him.
Really? Wait, are we talking about? We're talking about Clint Barton, right?
Yep. In one of the later Hawkeye issues with Matt Fraction, he was wearing a hearing aid.
That's nifty. Oh, I got one. Nick Fury.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Aaron Kelly married
that
was fucking awesome when she first came out, and he is correct. Okay, Matt, do you have anything else to talk about Mythics related?
Except that I've got a Patreon of her, but I'll save that for later.
Then I guess we'll turn the floor over to our star player.
Okay, right on. Seems Wikid's busy. I like seeing that, so I'm gonna be thankful for that. Anybody listening who doesn't know what I'm doing or what we're kind of trying to do here as a larger creative effort, Jack Iron Steel Cowboy. It's a immortal cowboy story that's kind of gonna take you for a little bit of a ride. It's gonna go places you don't expect. It's science fiction oriented in a post-apocalyptic world. A lot to dive into and a lot planned for the future. Our art team is absolutely amazing, as folks will see as the issues come out.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to keep this thing going into infinitum, but we'll see.
You know how lucky we are to have gotten Jack Irons? Because if anyone has taken even glanced at the art just a little bit, like this book is it's so damn good that this thing could have fitted in right at heavy metal.
Yeah. Oh, I would hope it puts a little bit of current heavy metal to shame, honestly. But
well, I'm talking classic heavy metal, or maybe even 2000 AD, like when they
straight out of the grindhouse, black and white, dark, gritty comic stories, and I'm 100% with that.
Oh, so yeah, more 2000 AD than heavy metal.
Probably a little bit more. It's not fun. Heavy metal likes to have a little bit of fun. Jack's gonna have a little bit of fun, but it's mostly gonna be heavy like a Judge Dredd.
So in other words, we got lucky because this book could have been sharing space with Judge Dredd.
Oh, I wish. I highly doubt it. The industry these days are so cliquey that takes a hell of an effort for somebody new to actually get in there. Either a hell of an effort or knowing the right people and being the right.
Oh man, you probably would have even had more hoops to jump through being American because I think the best chance you have again published in 2000 AD is being in the UK, right?
Yep, absolutely. That's a huge thing too. Yep.
It's a rare publication.
I think Wikid's the perfect home for Jack.
Oh yeah, it is, and and honestly, we could not have a better title to have as a flagship one.
Well, I'm hoping. We'll see. My book looks good. It's a decent time. The story should be deep enough to intrigue people, but it's not going to be to everybody's tastes. But who enjoys it will really enjoy it, and that's the point.
Yeah. Yeah, like one thing I've always commented about with Jack Irons where the art is concerned is like in black and white, it's like something out of a pulp novel.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But when you add the colors, then it goes from being pulp fiction to a fucking Mobius comic.
Right on. Yeah, no, I think it came out just gorgeous.
Yeah, it does.
First issue.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I forget your guys' name, but his sense of color is just like there's so much atmosphere in it.
Yeah, he added to the storytelling with the coloring, and that is very rare. I don't see that in very many books. Matthias actually took the time, saw what's going on, and
and that's why I've got Ginger
on things to add to it. I love it.
That's why I've got Ginger over on Changeling because like her colors, like they just like her sense of color adds a lot of atmosphere, and that's a book that demands it. I mean, like, and obviously so does Jack Irons.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, Ginger is extremely talented. I love the
yes,
pony
she
piece.
yes she
I had her
is,
color.
and so is and so is Monty's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthias is badass.
Yeah, I gotta wonder. It's like, I how much experience does your team have? Because like,
The art team, they've been semi-professional probably now for quite a few years. Not a decade or more, but 5 or 6 years, both of them.
okay,
They're
would
not,
you
but
be able
only
to
semi-professional. Nobody's actually kept them on a book very long,
would you
or,
be
or
able
had too much.
to name drop any books they may or may not have worked on?
Matthias just worked on something for Boom. That was a wrestling book. I don't have it on the top of my head, but it's like one of the first things you see when you go to his Twitter page. It looks really good, of course, because his colors are killer. So he's worked on a WWE book. Maxie, I'm not sure if he has anything else like directly out and published for America. I know he's done children's books, illustrations, and a few things for Argentinians. But in terms of the American releases, I'm not sure if he's done anything like Jack Irons in terms of being a completed project and not just like an album cover or things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My team, my team. I think I don't know what I don't know. I can't exactly say Victor's got anything that he's published professionally, and I know for a fact. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ginger doesn't have anything she's published professionally either. So my team is getting by more on just raw talent.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
I mean, to be fair, they're both very prolific professional artists. Well,
absolutely.
I say prolific, quote unquote. I mean,
I get you. Pretty sure everybody gets you.
I'm prolific in the fact that they have portfolios, they have work they've done, but yeah, as far as like actual published work, that's up in the air just because mainly I didn't ask.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too with Maxie at least, and I've only caught this one thing of Matthias, but I know he's done other things. Vince Rush, my letterer too, who is a crazy good artist in his own right. I don't know if he has anything published either, but he brought the letters and a lot of some parts of the cover and such that people will see. I'm really excited for further work with Vince, which I have one title hopefully that he'll be helping us with doing the art side, but we'll see. A lot of things down the road. Definitely planned and in production, but we'll see how feasible it actually ends up being.
All right. Yeah. I guess to get into it, I don't know if everyone's ever talked about this. Like, what's the big influences for Jack Irons? I mean, aside from, I think people can obviously tell Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns.
Oh yeah, that's an obvious one. Number 2 is the Mad Max universe. People will get a lot of Fallout out of it too because same roots. The Fallout games and the whole lore and concept are digging from the same well I am. So there's going to be a lot of similar feels to it. It's just not going to have the 50s retro aesthetic. It's most likely actually going to have a 90s aesthetic because I think that's where I have planned the first of the many apocalypses to happen.
Oh, so this is not. So it wasn't like one lore. It wasn't like one big event. It was several.
Well, it was one big event followed by another big event followed by. It's like a decade of hell, with new hells popping up.
The Age of Strife.
Yeah, basically. All this is in issue 2, which I think will be the 1 was my nice hello handshake issue. You kind of get to see who he is, and if you like the ideas that we've got and the art we have. Issue 2 actually lays down the foundation of what you're going to be exploring with Jack, and then issue 3 starts his journey. So we'll see. We'll see how this all goes. But issue 2 has a lot of the hooks of the world, and I think people will dig it. I certainly do. In terms of other influences, Punisher, and specifically Garth Ennis's run on Punisher, he's my top writing influence.
Yeah, Garth Ennis is Yeah, I love. Yeah, Garth Ennis is one of my favorite writers. I love. I mean, everyone holds up his Punisher run as like the gold standard for the character, and of course, I consider his Hellblazer run to be amazing. I hold that in very high regard. And of course,
You don't say.
yeah, and of course, there's also Preacher, and there's like, oh man, like War Stories is also really is a book I hear is very good, and I want to read it. Did Cody's mic duck out? Because I can't hear him.
Maybe. Is he talking right now?
Is not.
I know how that goes, except that mine usually goes out before the stream.
Oops. All right, so yeah. I guess while we wait on Cody to come back, I'll just do I take over? Do I take over and just start talking about Changeling?
I guess so.
Okay, so yeah, I mean,
if you don't test your equipment, this is what happens.
yes, this is true. This is true. Okay, so yeah, for Changeling, what makes this different from all the other books Wikid has is that this one is more geared at a more young adult audience, and Cody is gone. We'll have to wait for him to come back, I guess.
It's probably internet issues with the blackout and such.
Yeah, okay, that's probably it. But yeah, okay, so the Changeling is a book that is aimed for a young adult audience. Main character Maeve Mackenzie, she's kind of, I'll just be blunt. She's kind of a social outcast. She doesn't have really any friends. She's kind of sort of an unhappy girl. Well, just because she has issues talking to people. She's talking to people. She had like a lot of social anxiety. I mean, she's uber shy, in fact. Like just even like she does not do well in crowds. And she also may or may not have she may or may not be autistic a little bit.
Huh. Well, that'll be an interesting twist to the character.
Yeah.
I
say or may or may not be because of the big twist in the first issue is that we find out, oh wait, she's not even human, she's a changeling. And it might she was in fact a Fae baby that got exchanged with another one. Doug TeNapel hates Maeve. Well, Doug TeNapel's allowed to have bad taste, Aaron.
That makes me. I'm not so upset now that Earthworm Jim wasn't part of my childhood.
It's his loss.
Yep.
It is his loss that he's.
Although to be fair, he did have Maddox on his show.
Oh my! I'll give it this much. It was funny as hell seeing Maddox squirm when people pressed him about the lawsuit. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That dick buried him the next day.
So more about Maeve.
Okay, so yeah, turns out she's a changeling. Specifically, she's a changeling that is descended from banshees. And the reason why, and here's where the may or may not be autistic thing comes in, because what I'm doing is like a thing where it's ambiguous. You're not going to know if she's actually autistic or if this is just part of, if this is like her human half and her Fae half just sort of not meshing. It's not going to be clear one way or the other.
Well, that's cool. I mean, it's something that it'll be interesting to see, since we all saw how Drax was received by autistic children, where they saw him as being just like them because of how he takes everything literally.
Oh yeah, crap. Sorry, my mic dropped.
It's all right.
All right. Okay. So yeah. Well, yeah. And although they explained it away in Guardians of the Galaxy that Drax's people are just literal, they didn't say it was autism.
Yeah, but I think it's all about the little things that people can connect to that a lot of writers have forgotten about playing in their characters. Drax might not be autistic, but he can actually he connects with autistic people because of that literal taking everything literally.
To answer your question, Aaron, no, one parent isn't human. It's just more like, well, kind of. It's not a case where one of May's parents boinked a fairy. It's more of a case where to sort of be made into a changeling, she kind of had to take on the blood of one of her parents. In this case, her mother. It'll make sense it'll make sense in context, is what I'm saying. All right.
Context is the key.
Well, context is God.
Okay.
Probably the only good mundane Matt quote that exists.
I'm sure there's more out there, just that I don't care to see more of his work.
Nobody. Oh, well, to be honest, nobody does.
True. Very true.
Okay, so yeah. Well, like I said, May finds out she's a changeling, and saying after she meets a puka named Gavin, and if you don't know what a puka is, it's a shape-shifting fairy. And it's in this case, it could turn into, like, say, a rabbit, it could turn into a horse, it could turn into a dog, it could turn into a cat. Gavin turns into a cat. And it's more or less her kind of learning about her kind of getting in touch with her heritage and meeting her Fae mother and sort of being given an option to either stay with humans or go back to the Fae realm when she finishes high school. Well, but until then, it's kind of more or less all the adventure she sort of goes on, because it turns out that her hometown of Aberdeen has an interdimensional nexus, so I can jump her into other comic book universes and make it canon. And there's also all the other supernatural shit she gets mixed up in. So here's an idea: if you were into Buffy growing up, this might be up your alley.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Although there's going to be less snark and less snark and less self-awareness. You said it's a product for a younger age. What age range would you say? Aaron, like I said, it's young adults, so I guess it's aimed at mainly teenagers. So I think between the ages of 12 and probably early 20s at most. I mean, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, ages 12 to early 20s. Although, I mean, although it's something that I sort of took from a Blake Northcott tweet, is that there's going to be, like I said, it's going to be sort of made for that audience. There's going to be very little in the way of language, and pretty much no real talk about sexuality. So it's going to be it's going to be a wholesome book.
And it'll also make the characters sound like people in the dialogue, since you're not going to be using Whedon speak.
Yeah. Whedon speak Whedon speak is something everybody tries to do and nobody pulls it off. So many young adult writers try doing that and they do it badly, even worse than Whedon does.
Yeah, it's just really not good with especially, I've noticed that they are trying to do it more with Marvel Comics.
To answer your question, Aaron, yes, adults could enjoy it too, but yeah, it's mainly geared towards a teenage audience. Oh yeah, and another thing, there's a big twist with Maeve. Even though she's part Fae, she got raised Christian, so now she has to figure out how her heritage squares with her upbringing. That's called inner conflict.
Oh my God, no!
Yes.
You monster.
Yes. Oh wait, a character. She actually has She has to have inner conflict. What is this? You mean a character actually has to question everything she's been taught and has to and not just blindly accept it?
That's weird. I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, and you're gonna tell me like not everybody likes her, and so in fact one of the side characters, just kind of bullies her, but she has a reason to. She's not just a mean girl.
Brett, I think you're going to blow everyone's minds. I think
somebody stop me before I make this book too. Before I make this book too deep.
I think that the chat's gonna die because their minds are exploding.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh, Buffy, Gilmore Girls, and Brian Bendis all contribute to weird comic/TV talking. To be fair, Ultimate Spider-Man was a good comic, though.
Yeah, but right now, Bendis is going out on a downward spiral.
Yeah, Bendis is washed up. There's no getting around it.
Yeah. Although, he's doing better than Mark Waid.
That's not saying much, though.
He's still being very professional. He's still professional towards his fans on social media.
Again, that's not saying much.
It's saying a lot when everyone else is not so professional. Well,
Matt, the bar has been lowered so low that to do better, you just have to literally step over it.
True.
So whatever good we can say about Bendis is damning with faint praise. Yes, Aaron, he had good comics. He had Ultimate Spider-Man. He had Daredevil. He had Alias. He had... Oh, those are about the only three I can think of off the top of my head.
He did come up with the idea of the new Avengers.
True. What was I gonna... I still had... Yeah. And now I'm just... Jinx, Goldfish, Spider-Man, and Daredevil were great. Okay. Yeah. Did you not like Alias, Aaron? Did you not like Alias? What would... Oh, now there's something. I'm gonna put this out. I want to see if anyone can figure this out. One of the side characters who's the mean girl, Sadie. I'm gonna put this out, guys. I initially created her so that I would, as a means to riff on a certain someone who shall remain nameless. If anyone figures out who this person is,
they win $1 million.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'll let you know what you win when I figure it out. But let's just see if anyone ever figures it. I just want to see if anyone ever figures out who she was initially created to riff on. But the reason why I ended up abandoning that was because Sadie was living in my head a little too long, and I just got attached to her. And then I realized, wait, she's gonna be a regular character. Oh crap! I cannot keep that angle's not going to work long term because then people are going to hate her for all the wrong reasons, and they're going to want her gone.
Kind of like
what were you going to say?
Kind of like Scarlett Johansson in SCWs.
No, Aaron, it was not Gail Simone.
She doesn't take me. Sadie doesn't take me as a weird ant type.
Yeah, no. No, she's not. She's not. She is not. Like, she's way too young to be a weird aunt. But,
Yeah.
But the thing that surprises me though is because like she's a fucking hipster, and I actually like her, and I despise the fuck out of hipsters.
Well, it's fixed. Well, it's fixing.
I don't know. That is just fucking weird to me. But yeah, I mean, like that's kind of, but that's also gonna be, that's kind of gonna be the thing. Like with Changeling, like it's gonna have a lot of the kind of the same appeal that Buffy the Vampire Slayer had, but like I said, it's not gonna have like any of the Whedonisms.
Oh, thank God! No pop culture references.
Well, if they do have pop culture references, they're going to be like a little more, how do I put it, organically, like they're at least gonna they're not just dropped for the sake of being dropped. They're being like, the problem Whedon has is that he tries to be clever.
And he does not succeed a whole lot, such as, oh, I don't know, Alien Resurrection.
Which he does not like to talk about.
He does like to talk about it. He likes blaming people.
Well, like I said, he doesn't like taking credit for it.
Yeah. But it was his script. He wrote it. He put it out there.
True. That is true. But yeah, I know we're kind of poo-pooing Whedon, but isn't there anything he's actually good at? Because like, I'm excited for Changeling, even though Brett is a dick. Hey.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a dick. I thought I was the nice guy. I'm the funny guy.
You are a nice guy, the funny guy. Besides, there's more examples of whether or not someone's a dick outside of the company, such as certain creators that will go nameless.
Yes.
And you're not going to guess them because there's way too many of them.
Yeah, true. That is true. What I was going to say. But yeah, I mean, like, is there anything that, I mean, like, people would not like Whedon if he wasn't good at something, though. So I mean, like,
I think he's an idea guy.
True.
He has great ideas, such as with Alien Resurrection. It was the first time you saw the characters that would become the characters from Firefly.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's like I guess it's one of those cases, like I guess when you look at like the episodes of Buffy that people remember the most fondly, you probably should look and see like how many of them he actually wrote.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like he has good ideas, but other people sort of like flesh them out better.
I have a couple of Firefly scripts, and they're not written by him.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he does write his own scripts, but they're not as often as everyone thinks they are.
So in other words, like, he has good ideas, but to really make them good, like I said, he needs sort of other people sort of have to flesh them out.
Pretty much.
Aaron says his Astonishing X-Men was excellent. I don't know. Like, what do you think? I mean, I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
But the only thing I remember is that it was the one where we lost Kitty because she phased up is the giant bullet. Hey, there's your friend. There's Ninja. Ninja's in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ninja. I noticed that nobody plugged for the podcast in the Meeting of Minds.
Oh, damn.
Group, so I just decided to plug it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, good. Good on you, man. What I was gonna say though is
Okay, so Cody just said that the power is out again.
Oh crap. Yeah, and Matthew and Michael left the chat, so we're kind of on our own for the remainder of the show.
Yeah, because they lost connection too.
All right.
So, and
yeah, we'll do okay.
It'll be our first. It'll be a test of our abilities for our streams.
Yeah, like I said, this is pretty much the pilot episode anyway, and like, getting. What I mean, like people like the Avengers movie, the first one. That was, I mean, even Age of Ultron. I mean, like those were good, and he wrote both those movies, didn't he?
Yeah, but they're for me they're good on the first run.
Only good the first time, and they do not hold up to repeat viewings.
Pretty much. I like the action sequences. Although in Age of Ultron, there were some battle scenes that were you couldn't really get a good beat on what was going on. Are they winning? Are they or aren't they? Kind of think. There are a lot of close-ups.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean, like, I do want to give Whedon credit for one thing where Age of Ultron was concerned, because he kind of did this as a response to Man of Steel, because like everyone knows the thing people ran Man of Steel raked Man of Steel over the coals for, right?
The whole city destruction.
Yeah, the fact that Superman kind of, wrecked Metropolis, and he would never do that. Like all the collateral damage, like Superman, like, I mean, like if it's Superman, he would do everything in his power to make sure that he kept the collateral damage to a minimum.
Yeah, but this is WB, and they demanded it to be more like the Dark Knight trilogy, because WB is stupid.
Yeah. So yeah, as kind of a response, he showed the Avengers kind of actively trying to protect people in the big action set piece in Age of Ultron.
Although they did that in the first Avengers movie too.
Kind of. I mean, like there was like they showed a lot more of that in Age of Ultron. Like they were doing everything in their power to make sure nobody got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that DC never really understood, was that they're doing superhero movies, so they need to have their characters be more heroic. The reason why the Dark Knight trilogy worked so well with Batman was that because he was, as it was stated, the Dark Knight. He operated more in the gray than any of the other heroes.
Yeah. Like Superman is not supposed to be morally ambiguous. Still didn't watch the new Avengers movies or Batman versus Superman. Got to protect the innocent. Yes, I agree, Ninja.
Well, the thing I have to say about Zack Snyder is that he's really good at action choreography.
Well, here's the thing: like his background before he was making movies, the dude was making music videos.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I think people got the wrong impression of music video directors when David Fincher became really popular.
To be fair, David Fincher's a talented director.
Yeah. I'm not going to dispute that.
Yeah, I mean, and here's a funny thing though. Kind of something that Fincher and Whedon both have in common is they both worked on the Alien franchise, but with Whedon it was kind of the start of his career. With Fincher, it almost ended his, or more like almost made him give up, because like his experience with Alien 3 was so bad he almost thought about quitting.
Well, that's what ended up happening with David Lynch and Dune. He had such a miserable time with that he stopped doing Hollywood films. He does independent films, but never again going to do the big budget.
Yeah. To hear SF Debris tell it, David Fincher refers to Dune as his studio movie, and he says it the way a chef would say McNugget.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. Hey, Wikid Publishing's back in the call.
Sort of. We
Hey,
kind of.
guys.
Yeah, sort of. We
Yeah,
kinda
so-
have to do.
I'll let you explain.
No, it's okay. You go ahead.
All right. Kind of what's going on is that we're having really bad reception inside the building, and it's causing technical issues on our side. So we kind of had to switch to our phones, so sound quality will be a little less
Okay.
on our side.
Yeah. All
Sorry
right.
for being gone for so long, guys.
That's all right.
I wanted to say this earlier. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to in time. But thank you, Cody, for saying such wonderful things about us and being the perfect fit for Jack Irons.
Yeah.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Cody's going to hear that.
Is
that
Cody
one
not
way or
here?
another.
Is
No.
Cody not here?
No.
Oh, what happened to Cody?
His power went out again.
His power went out again, huh?
Oh wow! So he's out of the commission too, just like us.
Yeah, man. What's going on with internet today, man?
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll go and pass that along. Sorry about that. I just thought he was in the chat still.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, it's raining right here where I am right now. So I'm surprised that my connection's staying.
There was a ton of fog when I woke up this morning. But yeah.
So what have you guys been chatting about?
We were talking about Changeling, and Ninja asks where Alice is. He's still in. I don't know. What time is it in Spain right now?
Well, he said to send him a link and he'll come in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, I
what?
saw-
When did you say that?
Like a few moments ago, I
Wow.
believe, when we were searching around.
Let's get him on in here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, we were talking about Changeling, and I was and then it kind of turned into us sort of talking about Joss Whedon, and just like how like people think he's a good writer, he's not that good, and we're trying to figure out what he is actually good at.
He's good at making jokes.
Yeah, I guess like he doesn't. Okay, I mean, like I'll give him that. Like his writing can be very witty, but I guess the problem with Whedon is that he gets kind of too in love with his wit.
Do that.
Yeah, and I think this was another thing that Dan. We were in a chat with Dan once, and he said like another problem with Joss Whedon characters is they all sound the same in that they sound like they talk like Joss Whedon. They don't have distinct voices.
That's pretty hilarious, actually. Yeah.
And for those listening at home, characters having distinct voices isn't just them sounding different; it's them talking different too. So yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna have that. You're not gonna have that in Changeling. All the characters are gonna talk very differently.
Now, you think you?
What do you think he was trying to say, Matt?
What?
Go ahead and repeat it.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. I was saying. Oh, did you guys? Do you think that Firefly suffered from that as well? Then?
I don't know. I mean, like I haven't watched Firefly. I haven't rewatched Firefly in a while, so I'll let Matt take it.
Well, I have a couple of scripts from Firefly, and they weren't written by Joss Whedon, so it could be that enough of the episodes were written by not him.
Yeah, that's actually pretty smart.
That's also another thing we also came to was that we think like with Joss Whedon, he's good with he has really good ideas, but other people sort of have to flesh them out to really get the good stuff.
Yeah, more of the concepts really he's good at.
Yeah, because like I mean, if you think about I mean, like I'd have to double check this, but I guarantee if you look up like what are considered like the best episodes of Buffy, I guarantee he didn't write most of them.
or direct him for that matter.
Right.
I also think that Firefly ended up being the perfect length. It was there long enough to have a good impact, and then it was gone.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, to be fair though, it was kind of fucked over by Fox. But yeah, I mean, like, you want to see like how much of an impact it has. Compare like the first two StarCraft games. Like you can see like Firefly had a big influence on StarCraft 2's aesthetic.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah, you kind of can see that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like the first StarCraft, it kind of has like more of a, how do I put it? It has more of like a classic pulp sci-fi look, and then like StarCraft 2 takes on more of an alien / Firefly look.
Yeah, more of a vibrant alien look instead of its old school way, which kind of seemed more like a futuristic Warcraft scenario.
Yeah,
it still looked dark and gritty.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, like that's kind of how I look at it. It's like a. Why do we have two Matts in the chat now?
One is me, in replacement for Wikid Publishing.
No, not you. We have two Matt Trends now.
Oh.
Oh, whoa.
Matt cloned himself?
Well, yes, I cloned myself so that I can do more writing for you guys.
Oh, get one of them.
Hey,
there's
hey, Canales just joined in.
Yeah, here is the guy. Yes, our other star, the guy who drew Iron Sights by Diversity in Comics.
It is I, Canales.
Please bless us with his presence.
Yeah.
You opened the box, I came.
Oh God, we've opened the box, all right.
Canales,
glad to have you, man. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Yeah, dude, we need to know about Decimators.
Yeah, please, and delight the fans with the great info, Canales.
Well, I don't know what exactly you guys want to know, but I can tell you that I'm going to finish probably this week, probably tomorrow. So this coming Monday, the whole saga should be done, should be over now.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
That's really awesome.
What's the basic premise of Canales? I mean, Decimators.
Decimators.
Well, that's a different question. That's a whole separate issue.
Yeah, no, my own personal story is a dramatic epic saga on its own. So
we'll have to say that for another podcast, I suppose.
If you had to give like a basic rundown of what Decimators is about, what would you say?
Well, I will tell you that it's about what would happen if political correctness would be artificially installed into people's brains, turning them into violent, rabid zombies in the vein of 28 Days Later.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Very cool.
And yeah, so the whole society crumbles. It becomes a post-apocalyptic hellscape. And it's up to a bunch of private contractors called Decimators to save the day. Super soldiers wearing power armor and state-of-the-art weapons. That's my way.
Dude, what were you saying?
I'm not sure if that was me or that was my shitty connection. Decimators are a corps of elite soldiers who are supposed to be saving the day, fighting the politically correct infected.
Oh, that is very cool. So it's a bit of a dystopian book.
Yeah, it's post-apocalyptic.
Oh, post-apocalyptic, not post-apocalyptic dystopia.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested. You said like political correctness artificially inserted, like what you have, like this, like they have, like giant mnemonic where they like literally upload information into people's brains or something.
Yeah, well, if you want me to get into details, I will. But I can get boring sometimes. But yeah, it's about it's the near future, and people are using nanomachines in their everyday life. So cell phones and computers have become obsolete because people can practically communicate telepathically between them. If you have nanites or nanomachines with Wi-Fi capabilities in your brain, you can basically communicate with your neighbors.
You know what this reminds me of? What was it? I think there was like a Black Mirror episode like this where Matt, have you seen Black Mirror?
Oh yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's some really great.
Oh yeah, Black Mirror is amazing. Yeah, I think I know the episode you're referring to actually.
It's the one where like where you can base. I think the character in that episode like had their. They had everyone like had nanomachines in their bodies, when it could be activated in a way that you could not. It could screw with your perception, like you couldn't see or hear anyone, even though they were there.
Huh.
I think.
I haven't seen that particular episode, but I've seen many episodes.
Is that the one I'm thinking of, Matthew?
Huh?
Is that the?
No, no. Did you hear that?
The Black Mirror episode. Is that the episode I'm thinking? Did I get it right?
Is that the one with the where they have the ability to mute someone?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh yeah. That was a wild episode. Yeah. And so all you can scream all you want, but nothing. They can. I believe they can. Nothing comes out.
Oh, so it's not like the world doesn't mute it for you. You're muted to the rest of the world.
Is that what it was? I believe so, right?
I think that's what you're saying, because
basically like shadow banning somebody in real life.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, dude, that is freaking scary. Like, you're screaming, but but nobody can see or hear you.
Yeah, because perception.
It's like the nightmare that a lot of people have, to where you need to scream, but you can't because you have no mouth.
Yeah, no, you're asking for help and everyone ignores you. That's a typical nightmare.
Yeah. So I mean, like that. I mean, that's probably by accident, because it's probably by accident that there's a parallel there, because like it doesn't. I mean, if you had to sort of name what Decimators is influenced by, what would you put it? What could you say?
Several things. You're not too far from the mark, because it's been influenced by a lot of British science fiction, like Judge Dredd, and the mid '80s science fiction British comics, Pat Mills, all that. So yeah, it's I guess it's from the same school of thought.
So like a lot of the stuff out of 2000 AD.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Actually, the Decimators are kind of like the Yaches, the mega city Yaches, because they're the ones tasked with keeping law and order among the survivors of the apocalypse. So I was going to say we, but I'm the only guy doing this. So I sometimes take the chance to throw in some political, controversial stuff. And the guys have to act like fascists sometimes to preserve order, and just to keep a greater evil from befalling the survivors, which will be being turned into these politically correct zombies.
Very cool.
Now, Canales, I was curious. Would you say that it's true that with this series you're trying to subvert reader expectations?
Yeah. When people tell me, "Draw me a comic I'll draw them a birthday present card," I like to survey super expectation. No, I'm not that pretentious. I just wanna draw an entertaining comic. I like to quote one of my favorite movie directors, this guy. I just wanna make entertainment, that's all. And I'm not any more pretentious than that.
Yeah, it's kind of good, because like we got enough of like comic pros just trying to subvert reader expectations, like with the Batman and Catwoman wedding, and it's just kind of nice that that writers are just being upfront with their and honest with their audiences. That's more refreshing. Like with us, like we're just gonna. I mean, we're not going to reveal everything because we want people to be interested. I mean, like if we tell you everything, then what's the point of reading the book?
Yeah, right.
But we're. I mean, like basically, we're not going to lie to you.
Well, that's a lot to say in this current times.
Yeah, I mean, like what we say about the book is it's about our books is 100% the truth. Like that's what's going to be in them. We're not gonna screw with your expectations or anything.
But isn't storytelling all about defying expectations, like Ryan Johnson claims?
What is Ryan Johnson got lucky with Looper, and like that. Aaron Kelly Mary, by the way, says, "Can Alice notice me, senpai?"
You have been noticed, Aaron Kelly Mary.
But yeah, I mean, like,
Oh, man.
Ryan Johnson's been coasting on the fact that he got lucky with Looper, and now he's burned up all of the Star Wars.
Whoa, hold on. Okay. Wait, Rian Johnson was the director on Looper?
Yeah, he made.
Yep.
Yeah, Looper was his baby.
Whoa, that's wild. I actually really like Looper.
Yeah, Looper was okay. I liked the first time I watched it, and then I tried
Cody's back.
What?
Hey,
For how
Cody.
long? I have no idea.
Hey, what's
no
up,
clue
Cody?
how long I'll be here. The freaking my power today.
Yeah, we were talking about how I was talking about how
Seems to be
Ryan
going in and out, huh?
I was talking about how
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson got lucky with Looper, and apparently Matthew was surprised that he directed Looper,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and Canals likes Looper.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
I
don't
mean-
like it. I think it's an okay movie. I just can't stomach the thought of watching it again. I don't know why. It was okay the first time, but the second was kind of boring. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well,
It's
Talking
It's
about
one
Looper
of those
stuff?
movies where it all hinges on like a big twist at the end.
Yeah.
Of
kind of
course.
in a way. In a way, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem I've got with M. Night Shyamalan movies. Like, once you see the twist, it's like, I mean, like, has anyone watched Sixth Sense a second time?
Jeez,
Whoa,
I don't
whoa,
think I have
I've watched
actually.
Unbreakable quite a
Whoa.
few times.
I've watched Science plenty of times, bro.
Unbreakable is one of his best for sure.
Same thing with Unbreakable. Yeah, I've seen that movie plenty of times too.
No, Unbreakable is a good movie. I think.
But I understand The Sixth Sense. I understand that one.
No, the thing about Shyamalan is that everyone only remembers the plot twist, but actually the whole movie, The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, are pretty good movies on their own. You know, you could remove the final twist in Unbreakable, and it would still be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, Unbreakable. I'll give it that. I will give Unbreakable that one, being like
Yeah.
not Sixth
And
Sense.
Split. You got to give him that one now too.
I haven't seen Split yet.
Yeah, I need to catch that one.
Based off of a lot of things everybody's told me who has seen it, they say for M. Night Shyamalan, it's a good movie. You know, it's a true M. Night Shyamalan movie. He does everything that you would expect him to very well.
Yeah, I've heard that too, and I got to see it because of Glass. I'm stoked for Glass.
Right?
Yes,
That's exactly right,
yes,
man.
that's part of the main reason why everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah, wait, what? I have to watch how many movies now? Oh my god.
3.
That's wild.
But yeah, I mean, like, but yeah, Ryan Johnson's a hack who got lucky with one movie, and then he burned up the goodwill for an entire fandom.
Wow.
I think
Yeah, that's really messed up, man.
Yep.
And you know what he gets for his he gets rewarded by getting 3 more Star Wars movies. Like what? What's the logic there?
Well, that's debatable.
what they say at least.
What's that?
That's debatable.
What's the
Yeah,
bit?
Him having 3 new movies.
No, I'm pretty sure it's set in stone, isn't it?
Well,
I think it's because the last 2 movies kind of did not do as well as they
Really, you
expected.
think they go back on it and cancel their deal?
Solo just honestly, I mean, like, Solo probably would have broken even though if it had not been for Last Jedi, though. Also, Aaron's in the call now.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Aaron.
Welcome to the
Aaron,
Wicked
can you
Publishing
unmute your
Chat.
mic so you can talk about your book?
At
Oh,
some
wait.
point, I'm sure he will.
Hey, Aaron, I think you might be muted. We can't quite hear you.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
I just decided to try to see if I could crash the stream.
Hey,
Well, it's not so much of a crash if you're invited.
yeah, Aaron. Okay, Aaron. Just people need to know what's your book all about.
Give us a little rundown if you don't mind.
Which one? Dissolution?
Oh, that's a good
We
question.
actually let's go with Extractors since that one's pretty close to pretty much being done, and there's a lot of more promo for it, and you even have plans coming up for it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's go ahead and talk about that one.
Okay. Extractors it's basically, we like to say that it's A-Team meets Alien.
That sounds
And
cool.
It's about this team, this search and rescue team that works for an insurance company, and they go in and they board spaceships. Like if a spaceship is under duress from like aliens or something, they'll like board the spaceship and clear it all out and save all the people. But they get this distress call and the insurance gets denied, but they know that they have to save the people because they can see on the like on the video feed, they can see that there's like these zombie monsters on the ship. So they go against their orders and they go and they try to save all the people on the ship. And that's basically what the premise is.
Yeah, very. You said it's like A-Team meets Aliens. So is there a guy who's got a problem with getting on board starships?
What was that?
You said it's like A-Team meets Aliens. So does that mean we have a BA Baracus that hates getting on starships?
You kind of. There's one alien on the team, and he's this big giant dude with 4 arms.
That sounds like about right.
He's kind of the BA Baracus.
Got to drug his milk, right?
He's a BA Baracus type, you might say.
Yeah, more like maybe in an evolved form.
So this catchphrase is, I ain't getting on no starship.
Once again, just drug his milk. You'll be good.
So you mentioned that they go against their orders. Does that mean that there's going to be some sort of consequences or for their actions?
Yeah, they go, if you go against your orders, you end up getting disavowed, and then they come after you. So they try to get a way around it for a temporary. They try to I don't want to give away too much, but they try to get around it so that they can go and do the mission and then come back to where they're supposed to be. They have like a little trick they try, but it ends up not working. And then they get in trouble. Let's just say that.
And some deep shit, you might say.
Yeah. Most of the story, most of the first issue is actually just battling the zombivore aliens and how they have to fight them, and then following issues, if I can actually afford to make them. Following issues are going to deal with the fallout of them being basically like how the A-Team was disavowed.
Oh yeah, okay. And so you meant can you tell them your tagline if you haven't mentioned that already?
Oh, like how it's extract. Well, their tagline is "We got this."
Oh, okay. But, it's not a tagline, maybe, but
the motto.
The subtitle of the first issue is "Breach of Contract."
Oh, I was actually thinking of what you told me the other day. He called him. Maybe this is just an informal nickname you called him that time, but you called him your A-Team of assholes. I thought that was so hilarious.
That's my creative team.
Oh shit, that was your creative team? I thought you meant your extractors team. Oh, that's hilarious. Oops.
I just say I have the best creative team in the world.
No, I hate mine. But if you guys know, if anyone out there knows Vic King, he's on Twitter.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a lot of fan art, and he's always drawing people's characters and drawing his own characters and stuff like that. He's really good.
And Vic King's good people.
Yeah, I've had nice interactions with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's lucky enough to have He's lucky enough to have a name that can be deconstructed as Viking, you know?
Oh, while we're here.
That is very true, Canales.
I can't be the only one who noticed that.
I think you were actually, yeah.
I thought that.
While we're here, I think I should call out Abai Canales because he said he would work with me and he just won't do it.
Yeah, he's such an asshole.
Yeah,
if anyone sees him, just tell me he's a dick.
Right.
Yeah, you think just because you got to draw diversity in comics book, it means you're hot shit now.
He's got such a big head now.
I'm kind of a big deal now. I pissed off a lot of people. It was thanks to me. It was thanks to me that all the industry pros unblocked us all and began panicking and calling us public names publicly. So
it wasn't because Zach held up his phone and started saying, you know, this book this book kind of sucks.
Well, a lot of people
Hey, your
don't
boy
know
Zach
this,
is always
but
known for coughing.
I actually challenged Ibai Canales to a fight to the death in an international battle in Las Vegas.
Oh fuck, we gotta stream that.
So when is this happening?
I still don't know, but I'm down. I don't need a reason to fight people to the death. I do that on one show.
He does it on the daily, yo.
Yeah, man. Wednesday is my fight to the death weekday. I'm cool with that.
Well, you Spanish kind of perfected the art of dueling, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Over hundreds of years.
I need to go.
Hey, they're the ones who duel bulls. Okay, so.
I mean, like they deal with the rapier in the shed.
Whoa, sorry. I'm feeling myself feeling everyone at the same time. It is me. Someone. Lots of echo going on here.
Although
I didn't quite catch that, Canales, that last part. Do you mind repeating that last part?
I was saying that I'm seeing a lot of echo everywhere. I'm getting
echo also.
Matthew, you guys might want to mute your end because I think you're.
Oh, is it us? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so Canales.
Yeah, much better. I was saying that I'm ready to fight anyone to the death because it's one of my hobbies. If you guys are cool, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Your fight to the death with Aaron would be a fist fight, though.
Yeah, an elbow fight too. Don't forget the elbows.
Gotta use the elbows, the knees, you know. I just say
you know what?
Rochambeau.
I say Queensberry dog rules.
I approve of
The jet lag alone will destroy you, Canales.
I'll have you know, my dad was from La Mancha. He's from La Mancha, actually. And they have a knife fighting martial art there. And he taught me the basics. So I'll have you know
that. There you go.
I don't know. I'm Irish, so we just use fisticuffs.
Hey,
I'm Italian, so we just like gun people down in the street.
Well, hey, we don't just use fists. We also throw in pipe bombs.
Don't you Irish have a stick fighting martial art?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Like I said, we either use our fists or we just send people pipe bombs. Matt's Vietnamese. They said booby traps.
Which is an honorable thing to do.
Wait, which Matt?
Me.
Trin.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll just let you guys know. Google Basque terrorism and then come back to me.
Yeah. Now, if we're talking about my Celtic ancestors, we'd probably be using gallows glasses.
No, everything we do is with Tommy guns.
Like I said, fists or pipe bombs.
And then
you can't use trash bombs because they're illegal in England.
You get like I said, for you guys, it's either AK-47s or shit covered punji sticks.
It's kind of funny how the Irish are responsible for the no public trashes.
That is true. Cody, you're Native American. How do you guys do it?
I'm not Native. I'm not. I just grew up in the culture. I won't make that claim. No way.
Whoops,
But
my bad.
You're not like 009% Cherokee, something like that.
What?
You're not like 009% Cherokee or something like
Cherokee.
that. Cherokee, yeah. Sorry.
Nope.
I'm
Nope,
sure.
I don't claim any of that. No way. But
You're not David.
I would assume it would be a form of knife fighting. The Apache are the ones who train the Marines and most of the Army in knife fighting. So that would be one way to go about it. The next bit would be I am American, so we just drone people now. That's just kind of what we do.
Oh my God.
I mean, come on. You really got to ask most efficient form. You don't stand in front of somebody and actually look them in the eye anymore. No. You sit behind a computer screen a whole ocean away and press a button.
That is true. That is true. I mean,
Will there also be a cruise missile too?
that is true.
Well, I mean, that's if you really want to go there. If it's just one person, you don't do that. You wait till they're out getting groceries and
That drive-by.
I'm trying to think what that would have been like in the old times. Would have they used like carrier pigeons with Molotov cocktails, something like that?
That would be awesome.
I don't know. Or maybe carrier pigeon with a grenade.
Yeah.
I know they were trying to get dolphins to suicide Marines at one point. I remember that.
Are we talking like suicide dolphins?
Yeah, dude, that was the plan for a while.
I remember I watched research about the CIA.
I wish we could.
What?
Yeah, weird stuff like yeah. They tried everything from telepathically controlling people across the world to sending dolphins with bombs attached to them.
That is fucking wild.
Right? The
How do
CIA
you
is
guys know all this Black Ops information?
I could tell you, but then I have to kill you.
Yeah, we've got a non-disclosure on where we get the info, but they tell us to spread it as far and wide as possible.
I can say Matt and I know a guy, but we won't reveal his name.
Oh, it's a guy.
Nope.
Well, already cut down the half the list. That'll make it easy, right? It's only some guy.
Yeah, he's just some other guy.
Quiet, you're giving away his YouTube name.
No, that's the guy. The other son guy. He's just some other guy. That's all we can say. But if he's listening, he knows who he is.
Oh, he's listening. He's always listening.
Yes, he is.
Everywhere.
He's always listening.
Even though he's not talking inside even though he's probably not talking inside the chat, he's listening.
And he's making a list.
Well, he's also we can get out. We got the dolphin conspiracy. We got our droning. So now what's the next?
I think a zombie switch. The CIA is going to work on some kind of zombie chip that'll resurrect. They could bring people back from the dead to I don't know.
Why not? Some
sure, why not?
I don't know, because I have a theory that the whole zombie apocalypse in rags is a CIA psyop gone horribly wrong anyway.
Horribly right.
Don't they state that it's some kind of terrorist virus, something like that?
Oh, that's how it always starts. It's a false flag, and then it turns out it was a CIA psyop.
There you have it.
What if they did something like that, and then Marvel, they accidentally resurrected Jack Kirby, and then Marvel would just be screwed? He would just dominate.
Oh fuck! Marvel would be screwed.
Then I go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say Marvel would be screwed if Jim Steranko went back.
Oh boy.
Actually, does anyone follow Jim Steranko's Twitter? It's amazing.
Yep, I do.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna do it right now.
Now, what were you gonna say, Canales?
No, I'm just going to say that if they resurrected Jack Kirby, he would go full, Solomon Grundy and beat the shit out of everyone.
He'd probably start by tossing CB Cebulski out the office window.
No, it'd be Joe Quesada first.
Solomon Kirby.
Oh yeah, Solomon Kirby.
I think if there's anyone who's going to be the first one out, it'd be Joe Quesada. And then Tom Brevoort.
And then CB Cebulski.
Exactly.
Brevoort has been there for like 100 years.
Seriously?
Yeah, he's been there for a long time. He's never been editor-in-chief.
Damn.
What can I say? When you're a talent like him, you get passed up a lot.
Talent, quote unquote. Because remember, the whole Hail Hydra cap happened under his watch.
Well, like I said, like a talent like his is why he passed up.
Well, he's the guy who said that his son was an asshole for voting for Trump, right? So,
yeah,
that's the kind of person he is.
I think he'd probably get the worst of the beating from zombie Jack Kirby because of that.
Yeah. He would.
Well, at least Quesada helped bring Marvel back from the brink in the late 90s, early 2000s.
That is true. I mean, and the Ultimate Universe happened under Quesada's watch, and we did get a few good books out of that.
And then he had Peter Parker make a deal with the devil that destroyed his marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well,
I
I'm always gonna love Joe for his ink work on the Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon Punisher. So I'm gonna have my enjoyment for the guy. But yeah, I mean there's a lot of crap going on.
And he did also illustrate Guardian Devil.
Yeah. So I mean there's a lot of good stuff. It's just time to pass the torch.
He made some really bad. He's just made some really bad decisions. I mean, he's also the reason why X-23 has been a underage prostitute in her background.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of funny because when during the early days of the Young Avengers, they hinted that Kate Bishop was a victim of rape.
They were switching phones right now.
And she became a martial artist to show that she wouldn't be that helpless again.
Turn off the video.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
Yeah. I mean,
never too much.
I have to wonder. I mean, that's a very questionable decision if you ask me, though.
Oh yeah. Anything involving kids and sex is always going to be questionable.
Actually,
I would say yes, it is. But also letting you guys know, we switched over as well.
Awesome.
We're now on the actual Wikid Podcast YouTube channel.
Good. Right,
oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice. I was gonna say though, man. I mean, I would say anything involving rape would be very questionable. That's something that has to be handled very delicately.
Well, that's why they never really outright said it. They just hinted at it.
Implied.
Yeah. Yep.
I would be cool with that in any other franchise, but the Avengers, it's
they couldn't just say she was a victim of a mugging.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, you got to deconstruct everything, and the first part is making sure kids can't really enjoy it. So you got to kind of put that large amount of negativity in there that everybody's going to question because there's no reason for it to be there.
Hey, getting mugging sucks. Have you ever been mugged?
Oh, of course not. I'm lucky.
Have you been mugged?
I'm not saying it's bad. What you're saying is bad. I'm just saying what they're doing and the reason why is
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you either, Cody. It's just,
Wait, so
I'm
you've
just
been
saying.
mugged, man?
I'm just saying. I mean, like they want to be all dark and stuff. I mean, like, come on, just it's not enough that Kate Bishop might have just been a victim of a mugging, and that's why she took.
So more of like in general, you mean? I guess.
Yeah, that was the reason why she took up martial arts, to prove that she wasn't helpless, and they were implying that it was rape. But I'm thinking, like, you couldn't just make it a mugging.
That's the thing, is that this stuff doesn't belong in Marvel's mainstream comic books. Like, it doesn't belong in their superhero line.
That's what I thought they were going to try and do with Marvel Knights, but then just turned into a Punisher is bad fest, and then died.
You know, I mean, like, I mean, you want to see them do? You want to see a version of where they do this right? Just look up Alias, because like when it goes into what the Purple Man did to Jessica, it's just. It's like, I mean, like, I don't think, because I went like with this whole mind control thing. Like, it never says that he took advantage of her, if you get my meaning. But
yeah.
But it does hint at that while she was under his control, he made her do a lot of things that traumatized her.
Yeah, it made her not want to be a superhero anymore.
Well, in terms of comics, Punisher Max does it really quite well also. One of the first earlier arcs, he walks into it starts with him walking in, been abusing and filming their children, and it's a whole thing about how he goes about executing those two parents.
Oh yeah, that was I've heard like
I thought it was dealt quite well. And in fact, it even said he was questioning himself whether or not to kill the 14-year-old boy, because he already thinks the boy's got the inclinations. So that was fun. But you can do heavy, but the X-Men, do X-Men Max, fine, whole different thing, go for it. But in the X-Men under Marvel, don't do that. You know.
Yeah.
Got to make these books enjoyable for the kiddos, because that's a huge part of their market, and how they get people like us. Me, it was the Saturday morning cartoons, but nonetheless.
But
they're not thinking about that anymore, though. They all about what they want. Go on.
Yeah, I know.
You guys ever look at the, like, you know, they have like the teen rating and the mature rating and stuff? Like, you ever look at some of the Marvel books and, like, they're not very consistent? Like, you'll look at one, it'll say teen, and then you'll read the book and there'll be, like, blood everywhere. And then other ones will be mature and they'll be, like, normal.
I missed the days
somewhat. A lot of it usually is language and subject matter. Like my book in particular is kind of pushing that. There's a lot of gore and such, and there's one foul word, but I still consider it a teen book. It's really not. It's not hardcore, but yeah, I don't know. Everybody likes to label things differently, and eventually industries come up with a standard that they just agree with, and a lot of the time it's bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like a lot of the stuff that used to be for teens back in the day would be considered to be the stuff that for kids today.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the problems we have is that the writers can't decide whether if they want to be 8 or 28, you know?
Yeah.
This weird astonishing wasp, or whatever the hell it's called, an unbreakable wasp or whatever, in which teenagers will act like 5-year-olds, and all of a sudden they will act like 50 years old, and you know, nobody's sure what age people are anymore.
Yeah, it's not so much about characterization as much as quote unquote diversity now, and that's just the problem. Just overall.
The editing is just ridiculous. It's like, how does a lot of this stuff get through, you know?
Yeah. I'm assuming a lot of these arcs and stories are plotted by editorial and then handed down to writers. And then the writers have to deal with what they're told. And they do the best they can most of the fucking time, I'm assuming. And a lot of the time it's not something the mass public actually wants, but they did what they were paid for. So
I blame Disney, because if you supposed to consider things, it all reads like like iCarly or one of these Disney Channel twin shows.
yeah.
So all the darkness out.
Yeah.
We went into DCEU territory right about now.
Yeah, we did.
Went full on Zack Snyder, actually.
Yes. Just talk. I think a good clip. We got like. I think we.
Oh, there you go. There's another good one. Rorschach beating that guy to death with the fucking axe. That's some cool stuff.
I think we. You know what? I think we got. I think a good place to. Next
About
good
20
place to
minutes.
go is what we hope to do with the company.
Sorry, what's that?
I think the next logical stuff for us to go is like what we're hoping to do with the company.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Get rich.
Yeah.
That's always a
Before that, make a stable living off of this.
Well, I mean, what did you guys have? Did you have anything in mind off the top of your head when you brought it up?
Well, I've got a with where Changeling's concerned. I mean, I've really only got like 4 volumes planned for it, but I mean, who knows? I mean, like there could be, because I sort of saw Maeve's story just being more confined to her high school years, but I think
How long's the volume? Well, just one issue?
no, more like because the thing with Changeling is like just because I kind of saw it's kind of an episodic, so like there's continuity. There's kind of an overarching plot in the background, but with a few exceptions, each issue is its own self-contained story.
Oh, that's good. Anybody can pick up something and enjoy it. I like
Yeah,
that.
because that way I don't have to keep people waiting for months on end they get everything they need to know from just reading the issue.
I wish there were more people who did that. I remember Warren Ellis tried to do that with Planetary, and after that fell.
Yeah, it was like a year between issues.
Yeah, no, it was monthly, but every issue was its own separate story with an underlying continuity, and you could just pick any issue and read a full story, which is like comic books used to be in the old days. And I like that idea.
Yeah.
I wish more people did that.
Sometimes multiple stories. I'm hoping to start including those little minis like they used to do in the back of the old West comics and a lot of those old comics where it was 3 or 4 stories. I'm at least trying to get 2 in there. We'll see. I think it's doable with my plans. Hopefully issue 3 of Jack Irons will have a little bonus in there, but we'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, Matt. I know you said that where McKinnon Chronicles is concerned, it's going to each story is going to be self-contained too. But like, what about where Mythic is concerned? Like, is that going to be more or less the same deal?
I think Mythics might go on longer than McKinnon Chronicles, since we're starting up a shared universe with this, and we're going to need some consistent characters along the way. I do have an overarching storyline planned out, but it's not completely finalized in my head. Well, it's not going to take. It's not going to be. You have to buy 500 books just to understand it or have fun with it.
Well, that's good, but some people like that too. I'm hoping. I'm thinking Jack might end up being something like that. I'm kind of hoping not, but I'm really going for Dark Tower level amount of dedication people are going to have to get the full experience. But we'll
Canales, how about with Decimators? Is a like one like it's going to like how exactly are you publishing it?
Well, I'm doing the printed versions are like 2 issues of the 2 chapters of the webcomic per se, bundle that together into to make like more or less a self-contained story. And at some point, I think it would be cool to print Decimator's omnibus if that's possible at some point. That would be cool because I think it's about maybe 120 pages, something like that. I don't think.
Are you guys talking about Where Gun?
No, but that's also a good point. My first graphic novel.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, we were talking about Decimators, about making an.
Oh, you're gonna do a graphic novel version? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
Oh.
In an omnibus maybe, because it's like what 100 and I don't know 50 pages maybe, something like that. I think that's doable in a graphic novel format. All the issues bundled up together.
Yeah, no, that sounds actually pretty exciting, I think.
All right. Okay, Aaron, how about with extractors?
What was that?
With extractors, I mean, like, are we talking like is like each issue its own story, or is there like an overarching plot with a lot of continuity?
Each issue is its own adventure, but it all ties together. There's like elements. It's gonna be 3 or 4 issues long. Each issue is separate, so you could read it separate. But things continue. Like a character dies in the first issue, and then he'll still be dead in the second issue.
Okay, so there so self-contained stories, but with
it's kind of like the old, like if you read the old 80s X-Men or whatever, where you could read an issue and say like most of the time it wasn't like part 1 of whatever. It's kind of like that, where it continues the story, but it's just its own issue. Whichever one you read, you can read it and you'll know, like we'll explain who the characters are and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Actually, just as it's kind of like doing it that way. It's kind of like a mixture of having like a standalone, stories, but with also continuing canon that can kind of grow as well.
It's kind of like the old, like, you know how nowadays you watch a TV show and you have to, if you watch a TV show, you have to watch like every episode or you miss stuff. But it's not like that. It's kind of like the old TV shows where you'd watch like an episode of like Columbo or something.
Yeah, totally. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, that classic style. It really used to. Serialization really wasn't a thing back in the day of the heyday of TV, and it really was all about being able to pick up an episode at any time and enjoy it and understand what's going on.
Yeah,
right.
Kind of serialization.
If you watch them all, you see like, oh, this is his personality. He does this kind of stuff or whatever. So it'll be kind of like that.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I mean, it's kind of a, I don't know if this is a thing with like the comic industry changing or something, but it's like they make all these runs like they're tailored for trade paperbacks now.
Yeah,
and it's like they write so many of these stories like their TV shows, and it's like, in fact, I think like a lot of like Marvel writers that they picked up were like people who just could not find work in television.
The thing that's weird about it is with like Marvel and DC, their books, well, they have books that come out every week. Everything comes out at least once a month, so you don't have to write it for the trade.
Yeah.
Where like when we do stuff, we have to make sure that either people are going to come back in a few months or that they just get the whole story all at once, because we can't put stuff out every month.
No, we can't. So yeah, that's kind of why that's why I kind of decided, yeah, Changing's going to have an episodic structure, just because there's just no way I just don't have the money or resources for a month to keep it going monthly.
I keep saying that we should try the European way of doing things, by which I guess you guys all know about the Valerian comics, right?
If you're talking European, are you talking like heavy metal or bande
Yeah,
dessinée?
you know, the French Belgian model of doing like 1, 2 albums per year, except they're highly detailed. They have this mind blowing art, and they're really well written, and you know they're like 60 pages long, something like that. And you know they're high quality, but more you know there's more time in between issues. That's how Europeans do it. They look at it more like books than you know like periodical comics.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
awesome.
that's quite interesting
Yeah,
actually.
that's awesome right there. I mean, to be honest, you really should just look at it that way, because it makes a lot more sense to look at it more like a book instead of just like your normal everyday comic, especially if you're trying to continue on a really long story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean it is interesting. It's completely different from the way we do over here, and it's interesting because it kind of reminds me of how in the UK they do TV. You know, you'll get like say Luther or Sherlock. You get like 3 episodes, but they're like an hour and a half long. They're almost like movies, and you get them, and then you have to wait like 3 years, and then they'll do another one maybe.
Oh my lord! Like, when was the last season of Sherlock out again?
God, it's been at least two years, at least 3 years maybe.
2015 or 16.
It's been a while, yeah.
Well, the actors are busy with their Hollywood careers.
Yeah, that is true. The MCU scooped up both Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman.
Hey, Michael, how does manga do?
Manga, there's like, I know manga's got like 2 different models. You got like the weekly and monthly, like.
Yeah, either way, it's work to death.
Oh yeah.
They have they have both, honestly, because they do the whole volume thing, but they also do what's called a manga digest or a manga magazine, and so you'll get like an issue in a weekly magazine or a monthly magazine, depending on how fast they put it out.
Yeah,
but and then they do the volumes.
Being a manga creator, though, is not something I'd recommend to anyone, because like the creator of like One Piece, Ichiro Oda, he put out an ad asking for assistance, and he said the assistant must be prepared to die for One Piece, and he wasn't kidding when he said
no,
it.
he was. He missed his honeymoon. He put back his honeymoon for over a decade.
The guy who created Naruto. Yeah, he didn't take his honeymoon until 11 years after he was married.
That was it. Yeah.
I think
manga's a thing you breathe.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to be a manga artist. I know a couple of people who are living in Japan now, working in the team, because the manga creators act as a team. One guy writes, the other guy draws the sketches, some other guy draws the backgrounds, and so on. So, and they work their asses off. I mean, it's almost you sleep on the job. You have like a couch, and you take turns at drawing.
Well, yeah, it's basically imagine putting out a single issue of any of our books within a week. It'll be black and white, but within a week.
Yeah,
my books took it.
That's insane. I mean, I know for a fact there's like documented cases of people in Japan literally working themselves to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta be Japanese or a special kind of person to work like that.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do it.
Yeah.
Now, one difference between the weekly and the monthly is that the weekly is about half the length of a monthly as well.
Yeah.
So you've got the monthly that's about 32 pages, but also super detailed. So
exactly.
Let's just take a look at Vagabond. How detailed that manga is for a monthly series.
Yeah, true. And it's same with like Berserk, and I think Berserk is published. I think Berserk is actually published infrequently, just because
he takes forever on his art. It's absolutely amazing. The Berserk shit is just, oh my god.
Yeah. I know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is now monthly.
Huh.
Yeah, like you can see that. I mean, like if you want to like compare like the artwork from from Stone Ocean to Steel Ball Running, you'll see there's a noticeable and dramatic upgrade to the artwork.
Something I find interesting about the way the mangakas work, I don't know if you guys brought this up at all, but you know, the way they have assistants who help them with the art, you know. And
Yeah, they
from
do.
what I
Yeah.
understand, a lot of most of their money goes to their assistants. You know,
Yeah,
most
that's
of the
true.
guys, yeah, they don't make a lot. And some of the bigger guys who are like really prolific, they'll actually live off of royalties alone.
Yeah.
Does the assistants draw like the backgrounds or something?
They do some of the advanced inking, and they'll do the backgrounds. They'll also do the onomatopoeias and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's just I mean, let's be honest. I mean, like their comics industry isn't. I mean, especially nowadays. Like I tell people, if you want to make comics, you better have a day job. This is not going to be something you could. The days where you can make a career off this are over.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
tell
I mean,
Cody.
you can tell me everything. I know this. I know this very, very, very well. The hopes otherwise, but you know, you just gotta make a One Piece. You gotta make a Bleach. You gotta make a fucking, you know, I don't want to say
Naruto.
Batman or Superman, but yeah, you gotta make something that people hook onto, and you know, that's just how it goes. And I'm hoping to do that. I don't know if I am, but you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, like let me put it this way: if all Changeling ever gets is like, are you guys familiar with Gold Digger?
Yes.
Afraid not.
Yeah.
Yep, afraid not.
Yeah. When there's a quote Fred Knapp has with the first issue of Gold Digger and how it only sold 600 copies, and he said, well, that's 600 fans I'm never going to disappoint.
Ha! Nice.
Really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what a true fan is. You know, is it better to have a bunch of followers, or is it better to have actual fans? You know.
Yeah. So like, if I only get like 50 copies of Changeling sold, you know what? I'm cool with that because I never intended on making a living off this anyway. If I could just have.
Well, you might be cool with that, but I don't know about Wikid. Wikid wants to sell.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me put it this way. Hey, I'll be happy to hold a copy of it in my hands.
Oh no, I'm 100% that man. I'm right there. I'm fucking excited. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I had to talk with Brian about this, and he said he told me that is going to be one of the best feelings you're ever going to feel. Is actually being able to hold it in your hands.
I agree. I've had that before.
I can confirm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What's going to be even more exciting is seeing a bunch of your comics on a table waiting to be sold.
Yeah. Yeah, that is also true.
Well, guys, we're getting close to the end here. We only have about 10 or more minutes or so. I was wondering if there's anything if you want to go around each of you, and is there anything like final thoughts or anything you want to get out there about your projects that you're working on right now?
I think I know the perfect way. If you guys want to help support Changeling, go to my Twitter at Brett1106. Pinned tweet goes directly to Changeling's Patreon. And all money that goes into that goes strictly to my art team, which is Victor Campon, my illustrator, and Ginger Foxy, my colorist. And if you can guys get us to $1,000 a month, we can buy Ginger her own PC so she can get more work done even faster. And just,
hell yeah.
I mean, fuck, I can even put you in touch with them if you want to commission work for them, because they can always use more cash.
Yeah, that's just about everyone in this group
and,
as well.
And everybody could use more quality art from great and very personable artists.
Also true. And I guess hope anyone who wants to go next.
Well, I just want to thank the Wikid guys for everything they're doing for me and for my webcomic decimators. They've been so kind to, as I always say, they're working their asses off just so I don't have to.
Oh man, that's great. Thank you so much for saying that, man. That's really generous of you.
I appreciate that. That day when the print tests arrived to my hotel room in Houston. That was one of the greatest day of my life. I was like, whoa, man, I'm holding a comic book that I have written and drawn. This is great. I love this. So yeah, that's on you. That's all on you.
That's amazing, dude. That's incredible that you said that. I really appreciate that. I can't. I'm so grateful that you've all put your like you said, put your faith in us, and that you're on this journey with us.
Yeah, it really means so much to us. By the way,
I
mean, without you guys, there pretty much wouldn't really be so much of this.
Yeah, exactly. Wicked Publishing is what it is today because of all of you. So I think you should all feel proud of what you've been able to accomplish and what you will accomplish.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Yeah. Totally.
Just for me, I don't think I would have been here without you folks. Besides there not being this whole thing, it's just as far as I've gotten, there's almost no question in my mind.
I definitely got to give props to you guys and also to Brian and Trent from Rags, because honestly, they gave me the kick in the ass I needed to actually start seeing this through.
Yeah, right on.
Aaron said his net died, but he said thanks for having him on. We were glad. Thanks for coming on, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron.
Oh, thanks, man. We really appreciate it. It was great having you.
Yeah, it was great having all of you.
Canales misses you, Aaron.
People who would you like to say some final words?
Matt?
Canales, did you have another moment to say?
Not really. I think that's pretty much it. If anyone watching this sees Decimate or local comic book store, just buy it because it's great.
Oh, one thing I will say, Canales, I don't believe you were here during the stream when I made the announcement earlier, but we announced to everyone the second issue of the comic coming out.
Oh, awesome!
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah, dude.
That's great.
Everyone seemed really excited about it.
All right, Matt, come on, say we gotta have something to say.
If you want to support the comics, the best way to support them right now is through my Patreon.
No.
What?
Oh, you were just going in and out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can follow me at Matt Trin at MATTTRINH, and I have a schedule of updates for the Patreon, so if you want to check it out, I'll always have a post up at a certain period of time. And I want to thank the guys from Wikid for giving me this opportunity, even though I was a bit of a pain in the ass over the contracts.
Right, yeah. Well, you're very welcome. Yeah, definitely. We had quite the ordeal with that, didn't we?
Yeah, but it gave me peace of mind that you guys didn't just run off after the first time I said, I don't know, I need some more time.
Yeah, no, that's killer.
Right, yeah, I totally understood where you're coming from with that.
All right, so I guess with that in mind, we will close this out with our.
Oh, come on, guys! Really?
Okay.
Well, I suppose we could always,
I'm kidding.
You know what? Maybe I'll just leave.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Cody. You get this. You can plug your stuff.
Oh, can I? That would be just great. No, okay. You can follow our project, Jack Iron Steel Cowboy, at cowboy_steel on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page, also under Jack Irons Steel Cowboy. We have a Patreon, also under Jack Iron Steel Cowboy. It'll say Ironverse Comics up at the top. That's my team's working name at the moment. If you support our Patreon, you'll eventually get access to the next series in the Jack Irons universe, Cactus Coyote. It's a fun gag manga type of series starring a shape-shifting alien off trying to pay his debts. It's a hell of a good time, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to it myself. It only costs you $1 a month to get pages as they release, so I think it's a pretty goddamn good deal. And if you support us there, we can move on to other series that I have great potential and great ideas for. And I just want to also thank the Wicked guys for having me, for putting the faith in, and for doing this, and everybody here for being patient with my town's dumbass electric company.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, we understand that.
Alright. So, I guess we
Well,
can close this.
if you guys don't, well, actually, I was going to say, if you guys don't mind, actually, I would actually like to plug a couple projects that I have out right now and are working on certain things.
Yes, of course.
So, oh, thank you. So first, I'd like to go ahead and just plug Barrels, my new 1920s Mafia comic I did with the amazingly talented Jeff R. Lasley. I'm sure many of you guys follow him. He's the hillbilly artist who lives on top of a hill, self-proclaimed. I didn't name that. But he's an incredible guy, and it's just been so much fun working with him. And so the first issue is out now. It's going to be up on the store this weekend, so people will start be able to get it. And so yeah, that's the one project. And then actually, I would make a special announcement here on the podcast that I'm going to be releasing a light novel this January with a really cool anime style artist named Michael Tony. He's got on Instagram and Twitter, and it's going to be kind of like a sci-fi futuristic story in the vein of maybe Ghost in the Shell or some sort of action. Maybe Children of Men would be another good example. So look forward to that coming soon.
Oh, I am.
Awesome.
Everybody
That sounds
should.
cool.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Everybody do their pitches.
Yeah, I guess we can close this out with our company slogan.
That's a good idea. Well, on behalf of everyone here on the Wikid team, let's get wicked.
Yeah, get wicked, man.
Awesome.
Alright. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully. And
See you next time, guys.
And hopefully on the official channel.
Right, exactly.
Thank you all again for coming.
We're gonna get on that.
To 100 subscribers, so they at least get their own URL.
Oh God, please, please.
Yeah.
That would be really
Thanks
great.
again, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a great
Thank
week.
you.
Have a great day.
Have a great week.
And hitting button.
Bye.
Well, that went pretty well.